Chapter 794. Yufei, I know you're a good child, and I know that third brother is wholeheartedly working for the Sheng family. However, I still have to hand the most important part to eighth brother for safekeeping. With him around, you can be safe and sound. Grandpa, I can understand you, Ren Yufei said. The old man had been working hard for the Sheng family all his life. The first half of his life was for Huang Yao, and the remaining time he had wanted to protect his children and grandchildren. When we arrive at Huang Yao, if you want the vice president to come to Bowen's office to see me. The old man touched the walking stick beside him. Grandpa Sheng touched the walking stick beside him and said, I want to see what Huang Yao did to him first. However, Sheng Xiao had instructed her not to let the old man come into contact with anyone in Huang Yao after she went there. Therefore, Ren Yufei did not agree to the old man's request. Grandpa, let me see him. I should also greet these people as the young madam of the Sheng family. You don't have to see those filthy things. The old man pondered for a few seconds and nodded. Fine. On Zhongting's side, Sheng Xiao had already asked his secretary to free up the afternoon. As for Su Che, he had already gone to keep an eye on the so-called Vice President Yang. Regardless of whether Sheng Bowen was fine or not, did he think that there was no one in the Sheng family? He had already bullied them to this extent. After that, Zhongting's legal team and finance team were already on standby. They were only waiting for Sheng Xiao to be ready before they set off together. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Sheng Xiao picked up his coat from the clothes rack and walked out of Zhongting's office. He then informed, the relevant personnel will set off immediately. Since he was going to settle the score, he would settle it properly. However, when Sheng Xiao went downstairs, he saw a little thing sitting in the back of the car. Sheng Xiao put on his coat, opened the car door with the help of his secretary, and sat in. No class? You want to join in the fun? You know that I only have one last class in the afternoon. How can I miss out on such a lively place? Mu Qiqi leaned on Sheng Xiao's shoulder and said, Besides, I can barely count the old man's matters as my duty. When he has a meeting later, I'll accompany him. Think about it. How can third sister-in-law deal with those shareholders who have evil intentions? You'd better not interrupt. I'll be responsible for soothing the old man's mood and making him feel better. Is that okay? Mu Qiqi raised her head and winked at him. In fact, Sheng Xiao knew that Mu Qiqi was afraid that the old man would be bullied inside and die of anger. Sheng Xiao did not say anything else. He just pinched the little one's face. My life is in your hands. Leave it to me. It won't go wrong. Mu Qiqi smiled comfortably. I'll sleep for a while. Wake me up when we arrive. Sheng Xiao simply told her to lie down on his lap. This thing had not rested well for the past few days. She had racked her brains for the old man's matter. It could be said that it had been hard on her. Soon, Grandpa Sheng's car arrived at Huang Yao. With the help of the doctor, Ren Yufei pushed Old Master Sheng into Huang Yao. At this time, Vice President Yang was also waiting at the door to welcome Old Master Sheng. Chairman, you're here. Old Master Sheng did not give him any face at all, and pretended to ignore him. Vice President Yang also knew the reason, so he could only follow behind and flatter him. Chairman, I've already arranged a room for you to rest. I'll go to third brother's office now, Old Master Sheng said to Ren Yufei. Chairman, I'll go prepare the information for this meeting and send it to you. No need, leave it to me. After Grandpa goes into rest, no one is allowed to disturb him. Ren Yufei said directly to Vice President Yang. Vice President Yang looked up at Ren Yufei. He did not expect that he, a dignified vice president, would actually be the secretary's assistant. He was very indignant, but for the sake of the old man, he did not flare up. How can I do that? Yufei said to give it to her, so give it to her. Don't you know her identity? The old man immediately made things difficult for Vice President Yang. Yes, everything is as you said, Chairman. After saying that, Vice President Yang stopped outside the elevator and did not continue to follow, because she had already said that she would go directly to Sheng Bowen's office. Why would she need him to serve her? However, this way, he would not be able to follow Shen Yu's request and give the old man a gift. What should he do? Forget it. He would get the directors to help out later and provoke the old man. he would probably be able to go to the hospital for a good treatment. However, he did not know that the Sheng family had a secret weapon like Mu Qiqi. Moreover, when Mu Qiqi entered Huang Yao, she did not alert anyone. Instead, she took advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention to her and directly got into the CEO's exclusive elevator and entered Sheng Bowen's office. When the old man saw Mu Qiqi, his eyes immediately lit up. "You little girl, why are you here? If I didn't come, would I have just watched you get bullied? Those shareholders of Huang Yao are all not easy to deal with. I can't do anything else, but I'm good at quarreling." Mu Qiqi sat on the sofa. "I sneaked in just to give those people a surprise. It's so hot. I'll get you a glass of water." Ren Yufei suddenly smiled. Previously, she was worried that she would not be able to handle it. Now that Mu Qiqi was here, she was relieved. "Third sister-in-law, go and do your work. Leave this to me." Mu Qiqi winked at her. "Okay, with you accompanying Grandpa, I'm relieved." Ren Yufei prepared tea for her and opened the door to walk out of the office. Mu Qiqi leaned against the old man and patted his hand. "How about I get your doctor to prepare some food for you? Just treat it as if you're watching a show. Relax. You're the one who wants to eat, right? I'll get the doctor to prepare it." Mu Qiqi did not object. It was exactly what she wanted. "Eighth brother is already here? He's at the coffee shop across the street." Mu Qiqi pointed at the building opposite with her chin and said, "Don't worry. As long as one person rebels against Huang Yao today, Xiao Xiao will get rid of them for you." The old man laughed. Suddenly he felt that the heaviness when he went out was completely relaxed because of this girl. On the other side, Vice President Yang did not go to Ren Yufei. How could he discuss it with the secretary? Even if Ren Yufei was the madam of the Sheng family, he would not go so far as to be afraid of a woman who did not have any real power. He only asked someone to prepare some tea and planned to try sending it to the old man. However, no one knew that Mu Qiqi was accompanying the old man. They thought that Ren Yufei was busy outside, and the old man was alone in the office. A moment later, someone knocked on the door. "Chairman, I'm here to bring you some tea. Come in." Old Master Sheng sat in his wheelchair, reading the newspaper as he answered. Mu Qiqi had gone to the bathroom. The young employee trembled as she entered the office with a tray. Seeing that the old man was alone, she put down the tea and said to him, "Chairman, is there anything else?" Chapter 795. Actually, I heard something, but I don't know if I should say it. The person took out her phone and was about to hand it to Grandpa Sheng. However, Mu Qiqi noticed it when her hand was in the air. "Since it's not appropriate, then don't say it," Mu Qiqi said calmly. The person did not know that Mu Qiqi was also in the office. She was so scared that she dropped her phone. Mu Qiqi bent down to pick it up for her. Then she saw the bloody photo. "Where did you get this?" "I received it at noon. I don't know if it's real, so I came to the chairman. I'm afraid that something will happen to the president," the person explained. Mu Qiqi flipped through the photo and smiled. "Is that so? You're afraid that something will happen to the president, so you came to report it to the chairman?" "Yes. Who do you think you are? Why did someone send it to you?" Mu Qiqi sat on the sofa and questioned the person directly. "You're not an important person, and you don't have 3 heads and 6 arms. Why should others believe you?" "This? I don't know. I just received it by chance," the person explained. "I hope you don't misunderstand me, Miss Mu. You know very well whether I misunderstood you or not. The old man is sick. What do you want to do by showing him such a photo?" Mu Qiqi suddenly became serious, and her tone was extremely cold. "Grandpa has seen it. If he's fine, then you're lucky. But if he gets sick because of these photoshopped pictures, can you afford to take the responsibility?" The person was so scared that she was sweating profusely. "I'm sorry. I really didn't know the seriousness of the matter. Who ordered you to do this?" Mu Qiqi went straight to the point. "If you answer me, I'll pretend that nothing happened when you walk out of this door. It's Vice President Yang. Vice President Yang asked me to show it to the chairman. Go out. Just tell your Vice President Yang that after the old man saw it, he was very sad. Also, don't tell anyone that I'm here." Muchichi threatened the other party. Yes, I understand. I'll do as you say. Don't worry, Miss Mu. You're so bad at photoshopping. How dare you embarrass yourself with it? Muchichi rolled her eyes and returned the phone to the person. Go out. Yes, I will go out now. How could they know that Muchichi was so powerful? With just a few words, she managed to trick Vice President Yang out. Even the old man did not expect her to be so clever. What is in the photo? Grandpa Sheng asked softly after they left. What photos? Those are just photoshopped pictures. They know that you care about third brother, so they deliberately used these things to provoke you and disturb your mind. They even... Muchichi paused and used a more euphemistic way to express it. Kill people. Then how did you know it was photoshopped? After you see it, you'll also think it's fake, but you'll still worry, because that's human nature. Muchichi comforted him. Don't worry. Third brother is fine inside. No one can do anything to him. I believe in you and eighth brother. This Vice President Yang was truly vicious. She knew that the old man's body was weak, but she actually thought of using this method to deal with him. If she hadn't come, the old man would have been provoked. The consequences would have been unimaginable. Don't worry, old man. We'll teach this Vice President Yang a lesson for you later. Vice President Yang did not know that the old man had Muchichi's protection, so he really believed his subordinate's words and thought that the old man had really been provoked. Even if he was fine now, when the board of directors convened later, the shareholders would say a few more provocative words. He did not believe that the old man would not obediently enter the hospital. Then, Vice President Yang told Shenyu about this over the phone. After hearing this, Shenyu looked at Sheng Kai with a cold smile. Have you thought it through? It's already 1:30 now. Your grandfather is probably on the verge of death. Sheng Kai did not say anything. He just clenched his hands tightly. It's okay. You can call him now and tell him that you should see if the secretarial office of Huang Yao will treat you as a lunatic. After Shenyu said that, he laughed out loud. How pitiful. You can't control your own fate. But now, you're the one who decides the fate of others. You're so hesitant and indecisive. How pitiful. This is all your plan. It has nothing to do with me. I'm afraid you're an idiot. Sheng Kai, you're an insider. You're equivalent to an accomplice. Shenyu laughed maniacally, stimulating every nerve in Sheng Kai. He knew very well that if something really happened to the old man today, there would only be a blood feud between him and the Sheng family. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The directors of Huang Yao entered the meeting room together. They were all thinking that everyone should consider how to elect a new person to be the chairman. Such a terrible old man would only be hospitalized and unable to solve anything. Therefore, these people had ill intentions from the beginning. In any case, Huang Yao was in a state of disunity. As the saying goes, there can be no construction without destruction. Now is the time to establish new rules. Soon, Vice President Yang also entered the meeting room and exchanged glances with a few directors who were closer to him. Today, only Ren Yufei was by the old man's side. Everyone could relax and not be so restrained. Why isn't the chairman here yet? A director looked at his watch and found that a minute had passed, but old Master Sheng had yet to appear. He was probably still recovering from the shock. Vice President Yang thought in his heart. I've seen the news. It says that the chairman is not feeling well. Since he's not feeling well, he shouldn't force himself to attend the board meeting. Isn't there a vice president around? Vice President Yang enjoyed every word that the directors said. However, in the next second, the door to the meeting room was pulled open. The person who pushed the old man in was not Ren Yufei, but Muchichi. Everyone looked at each other and said to the old man, Chairman, this is the board meeting. Logically speaking, Miss Mu should be waiting outside. The old man was about to speak, but Muchichi pressed the back of his hand and looked at her. The doctor suggested that it's best for Grandpa to be accompanied by relatives. Moreover, Grandpa isn't feeling well, and it's not convenient for him to speak, so I'll do it for him. Grandpa, don't you think so? The old man nodded. Don't worry, the lawyer will take care of it. You won't mind such a small matter, right? If they minded, who would bear the responsibility if something happened to the old man? This lass was still as formidable as ever. Chapter 796. Mu Qiqi looked around and took in everyone's expressions. When she pushed the old man to the main seat, she said, "Logically speaking, Vice President Yang is only temporarily replacing third brother's position, but he doesn't have the right to attend the board meeting. Why is he still here?" Everyone was stunned. They did not expect that the first person to make things difficult would be none other than Mu Qiqi. "Since I'm temporarily acting as the CEO, I'm the temporary decision-maker of the company," Vice President Yang explained. Mu Qiqi sneered and did not look for trouble with him anymore. However, it also made Vice President Yang extremely uncomfortable. He had given him a show of strength at the beginning. However, the real pain was yet to come. There was no need to worry now. "Since everyone is here, let's begin." Mu Qiqi took out tea and pastries from her bag. It looked like she was serving the old man, but in fact, she was clearly telling the others that she was here to watch the show. The old man looked at the shareholders and then slowly said, "Recently, Huang Yao has been in troubled times. First, third brother was arrested, and then Huang Yao has been hit hard. I know that all the directors are worried about Huang Yao's business situation, so I'm here today to preside over the overall situation. I'll put third brother's matter aside for now. Let me make my first suggestion. Remove Vice President Yang from his position and ask him to leave Huang Yao. You guys make your stand." After hearing the old man's words, Vice President Yang was stunned. He said directly, "Chairman, this is not fair. I've done my best for Huang Yao. Why do you want to fire me? Even if I don't have any credit, I've worked hard, right? Moreover, the CEO has been arrested, and I've been acting as his temporary replacement. I've done my best. How have I dissatisfied you?" The old man coughed lightly and did not say anything. Mu Qiqi quickly spoke on his behalf. "First of all, please follow the company's rules. Vice President Zhang has no right to speak or vote on the board of directors. Secondly, why do you have to be fired? There are 3 reasons. First, the CEO was arrested, and the heavy burden was handed over to you. Not only did you not fulfill your obligations, but you also bewitched the shareholders, hindered Huang Yao's development, and sold Huang Yao's assets. Is this your so-called ability? What a glib tongue, Miss Mu. Then tell me, who should I trust in this situation? Who should I look for? Zhongting? He was the one who abandoned Huang Yao first. Not even 5 Huang Yao can compare to Zhongting's current scale of development. You haven't gone to Zhongting, and you haven't come up with a reasonable plan. How do you know that Sheng Xiao doesn't care? Taking 10,000 steps back, even if Sheng Xiao treats Huang Yao as a child's play, how can it compare to Huang Yao's current crisis? Have you talked to Huang Yao's partners? Has the PR department done anything to salvage the situation? How did Huang Yao get to the point where it has to sell its assets? Not only do you have a problem with your ability, but you're also incompetent." Mu Qiqi was domineering and did not give him any room to refute. She directly pointed at Vice President Yang and scolded him fiercely. Her words were so fast that he could not resist at all. Secondly, third brother raised you up. How could you not know if you want to sell a few pieces of land? Is it a loss or a profit? What is your motive? Those pieces of land are restricted by the planning. This is something that everyone knows. Planning restrictions? Mu Qiqi smiled again. Have you already found a buyer and are planning to sell it to Changrong Shenkai next door? Nonsense. Vice President Yang was so angry that his face turned red. You don't have to be angry with me here. Huang Yao has indeed taken those pieces of land for some years and hasn't developed them for a long time. However, don't tell me you don't know that Jianchuan International Airport is about to be built nearby? I really don't know, Vice President Yang answered guiltily. Are you telling me these words to prove that there's indeed a problem with your ability? Mu Qiqi asked him with a chuckle. Vice President Yang stopped talking. It should be said that he was speechless. Thirdly, you instigated others to hurt grandfather and colluded with the shareholders to create trouble. You don't have the ability or the character. Why should Huang Yao keep you? Tell me, what face do you have to stay? Mu Qiqi's words were sonorous, making Vice President Yang unable to resist at all. Looking at the expressions of some of the shareholders, they were also unusually ugly. My girl has already made it very clear why I want to fire him. What other objections do you have? The old man was indeed feeling comfortable, especially when he saw Mu Chichi rebuking Vice President Yang. He felt refreshed. Raise your hands to vote and then sign. Dismiss me? I think it's the chairman who should be dismissed. Vice President Yang was forced into a corner. He could only shout at the old man. Isn't it all thanks to him that Huang Yao has become like this? Directors, think about it. There's no one in the Sheng family who can lead Huang Yao, and the chairman is still holding on. You should choose a new chairman. Otherwise, when the president comes out, do you really want a person who has been in prison to be the manager of the company? Is Sheng Kai at his wit's end? You're so ugly. Mu Chichi looked at Vice President Yang with a cold glint in her eyes. I think what Vice President Yang said makes sense. Even if we fire Vice President Yang today, who will lead Huang Yao in the future? You have to give us an explanation, right? A director stood up and spoke up for Vice President Yang. After you vote and get rid of the people who should be cleaned up, I will give you an explanation, the old man said calmly. Since he's useless, we won't keep him any longer. I agree to remove Vice President Yang from his position. Me too. The shareholders began to express their opinions, and more than half of the votes were in favor. When Vice President Yang saw this, other than being filled with anger, he also looked at Mu Chichi with hatred. It's all because of you. Mu Chichi, who allowed you to appear here. Do you know that you might have killed my mother? When everyone heard this, they were immediately puzzled and looked at Vice President Yang. My mother was captured by Sheng Kai's men. Do you know that if my plan doesn't succeed, he will hurt my mother? Your mother is human. Does my grandfather deserve to be hurt and schemed against by you? Mu Chichi asked him in return. You should look for the police, not the Sheng family. But I'm involved in the grudge of your Sheng family. Chapter 797. I'll go now. Ren Yufei nodded. If you do this and force my mother to death, I'll die with you. Vice President Yang looked at Mu Chichi resentfully. For you? Sheng Kai isn't that stupid. After listening to Mu Chichi, Vice President Yang stood up from his seat and said directly, There's no need for you to vote. I'll resign on my own. With that, he left the conference room and called his mother as he walked. On Sheng Kai's side, after receiving the call, he also sneered and looked at Shen Yu. Let her go. Lawyer Shen's plan didn't work either, did it? I won't let her go. Shen Yu said evilly. What can you do to me? Changrong has just experienced by Cindy's case. The police haven't let down their guard yet. Now, you want to get involved in another murder case because of a small matter. What do you think Godfather will think of you? Sheng Kai also learned from Shen Yu and became evilly charming. Originally, you only needed to make a statement to clarify things. If you insist on making a corpse, I won't stop you. It's just that you've increased your chances of being exposed. I don't care. Shen Yu's face flushed red. It was obvious that he had not expected Sheng Kai to anger him. That's right. Sheng Kai had actually angered him. Let her go. I'll whitewash this matter. It has nothing to do with you. It's just a pity. Do you think your little tricks can shake Huang Yao? It's not over yet. Shen Yu looked at Sheng Kai fiercely and replied. Not long after, someone found a middle-aged woman lying unconscious on the ground in a secluded place in Jianshuan. A passerby sent her to the hospital and called her family according to the number in the old woman's phone. Vice President Yang received the call and was relieved after confirming that his mother was fine. He would never get involved in the Sheng family's mess again. He could not afford to play with such deep schemes. After Vice President Yang left, only the shareholders and the old man were left in the conference room. Since the door has been cleaned up, let's talk about what explanation you have for us. The directors looked at the old man. The current situation of the Sheng family was very clear. Other than Sheng Xiao, no one could come out to take charge of the overall situation. I think the position of the president needs to be chosen from among the capable people. Of course, with the Sheng family's current situation, it won't be limited to the Sheng family. Chairman, it's time for you to express your stance. Everyone looked at Grandpa Sheng, waiting for him to come up with a solution. Huang Yao's bad reputation was all thanks to the Sheng family. I'm old. I can't stay in the position of chairman anymore. But there are still a few people who have second thoughts about Huang Yao. How can I rest assured? The old man looked at the group of people and said helplessly, "This is all your guess. Do you have any evidence?" Sheng. Today I am still here. I am the chairman. I will give these people a chance. As long as you stand up and admit that you colluded with Vice President Yang, I will let bygones be bygones. Sheng asked. Sheng, all the shareholders present were good actors. If you're really not feeling well and are delirious, we can send you back to the hospital. Sheng. I was. It shall, the old man sighed. I've said it before. This is the first time I've ever held a meeting as the chairman. Since you refused to stand up and admit it, I'll take it that you guys are planning to fight Huang Yao to the end. The people looked at each other and smiled. It was as if the old man was joking. But in the next second, the old man announced a shocking news. I've hired a lawyer to transfer all my shares to Xing Xiao and let him take over as the chairman of Huang Yao. I don't think you have any objections, right? Everyone was stunned when they heard that. Everyone knew Xing Xiao's ability. In fact, some of the directors only wanted to make money. So, as long as the Sheng family could produce a capable person to continue leading the company, they would not have any objections. However, Sheng Xiao had abandoned Huang Yao. We naturally recognize Sheng Xiao's ability. But chairman, don't forget that he was the one who abandoned Huang Yao and caught everyone off guard. Besides, he already has Zhongting now. How could he care about our development? Director Zheng, your point of view is so strange. No matter what Sheng Xiao did to Huang Yao in the past, he has Zhongting to rely on now. Whether it's funds, talents, or other aspects, he can give Huang Yao the greatest support. Not only will it increase the confidence of the outside world, but it will also have the ability to develop Huang Yao. Why are you so against it? This time, it was the old man's turn to question him sharply. I'm just stating the facts. The purpose of shareholders is to make money. What I'm doing now can guarantee the interests of shareholders to the greatest extent. What are you dissatisfied with? Perhaps, Director Zheng, you think that Huang Yao will no longer be profitable if it returns to my hands? Sheng Xiao's voice suddenly came from the door of the meeting room. No one knew when the door of the meeting room had been opened and how much Xing Xiao had heard. Everyone had mixed feelings when they saw Xing Xiao enter. Some were unconvinced, while others felt that it was only right. I can promise that after taking the position of chairman of Huang Yao, I will take developing Huang Yao as my duty, give Huang Yao the best resources, and never abandon Huang Yao. With this guarantee, do you still have any objections? Sheng Xiao did not walk to the old man's side. Instead, he sat down on an extra chair at the side. No one said anything. After all, just imagining the scene of Zhongting made them excited. I have no objections. I don't agree. Before Xing Xiao comes up with a definite management plan, I won't agree, Director Zheng said excitedly. I'm also doing this for everyone's benefit. All right. Xing Xiao nodded. However, I have to make one thing clear. When the time comes, I will produce evidence and expose some of the shareholders who colluded with outsiders with ill intentions. Do you really think that there's no one in the Sheng family? Today, I'll also tell you the truth. Even if all of you object to me taking back Huang Yao, I don't care. With Zhongting's current strength, it's easy for me to crush 10 Huang Yao. It's just that when the time comes, it won't look good for everyone. The difference is whether you want to speak properly or not. So the key to the problem is not you but me. After hearing Sheng Xiao's words, all the shareholders felt his arrogance and dominance. However, they did not have the confidence to refute him, because this was Sheng Xiao. Chapter 798. Sheng Xiao, you're still so arrogant. We're still the directors of Huang Yao. Can you show us some respect? Director Zheng slammed the table and stood up. Since the company has set up a board of directors, it has to be voted on. Aren't you looking down on us too much if you decide everything by yourself? I've always been like this. Whether you're convinced or not, there are a lot of people waiting for your position. Director Zheng tried his best to stir up trouble, but he did not get any advantage from Xing Xiao. I think you should welcome me as the chairman. After all, with Zhongting as your backer, you can imagine Huang Yao's future development. Other than Director Zheng, the others could not hide their excitement. If you still want Huang Yao to go to the next level, then you should cut off your connection with Sheng Kai as soon as possible. As Director Zheng said, as long as you can come up with a plan, I won't have any questions about how you want to manage Huang Yao. Me too. The directors expressed their stance. They just wanted to see to what extent Sheng Xiao could strengthen Huang Yao. They wanted a blueprint. I'll give you an explanation the day after tomorrow morning. Of course, don't forget what I said. After Sheng Xiao said that, he stood up from his seat. I want you to take all the advantages. There's no such thing. Push the old man home. Mu Qiqi stood up. She did not have time to eat melon seeds and drink tea. However, seeing that the old man's expression was not good, she immediately pushed the old man's wheelchair and followed behind Sheng Xiao. The old man looked at his grandson, raised his head, and asked him, "Do you really have evidence of the directors colluding with Sheng Kai? We've agreed that this is the last meeting. I can only promise you that as long as Zhongting is there, Huang Yao will be there." Sheng Xiao replied calmly. "However, your old employees probably can't be used anymore. I'm going to replace them. Let's change them." The old man agreed. Those old employees relied on their seniority and did not take Huang Yao's system seriously at all. In addition, Sheng Bowen had always been tolerant, so they did not know how many of these people were related to Sheng Kai. Only by replacing them all could Sheng Kai be completely uprooted from Huang Yao. In addition, with the merger with Zhongting and the change in the company's system, it would not be so easy for Sheng Kai to touch Huang Yao in the future. Sheng Kai is too familiar with the internal structure of Huang Yao, so I'm going to move the entire Huang Yao. You're the chairman now. You make the decision. After saying this, Grandpa Sheng heaved a sigh of relief. Eighth brother, I don't want anything. I just want third brother to come out safely. When he gets home, I won't interfere with whatever he wants to do anymore. Mu Qiqi felt a little sad when she heard this. Although the old man had realized it too late, he had at least turned the corner. Yao Xiao said. Xiao, Mu Qiqi, Xiao. Old Master Sheng nodded repeatedly. Of course. I still want to live a few more years and quarrel with you more. Then I'll send you back to the hospital. The old man was very cooperative and obedient. After returning to the hospital, he obediently took his medicine and rested. Xiao, Yao, then I Kai Xiao, Haven't you seen enough? Of course, I haven't seen enough of your dominance in business. Mu Qiqi did not hide her admiration for Sheng Xiao. That's why I'm crazy about you. Do you still want to go to class? Sheng Xiao tilted his head. His voice was a little hoarse with a hint of desire. You're too weak. Mu Qiqi suddenly realized what kind of fire she had ignited. Idiot. In the end, the man was still worried about the day and how important the class was to Mu Qiqi. So he sent her straight to school. When she got out of the car, Mu Qiqi could not help but laugh. Shall we go on a date tonight, Chief Sheng? I'll pick you up later. Soon, the outside world got the news that Sheng Xiao would take over Huang Yao. He would reorganize Huang Yao and merge it with Zhongting. Our reporters have received accurate news that Zhongting's CEO, Sheng Xiao, will take over as the chairman of Huang Yao and reorganize it. This means that Huang Yao's turbulent situation is about to end. As for what arrangements the former CEO, Sheng Bowen, will receive, the people of Huang Yao have yet to give a definite answer. After watching the news, Sheng Kai immediately turned off the television. Sheng Xiao is swift and decisive. Once Huang Yao is merged into Zhongting, I won't have a chance to interfere anymore. Teacher has always said that he's difficult to deal with, but I didn't believe him. Now, I feel that this person is a little interesting. Shin Yu lay on the sofa with an unknown celebrity in his arms. Of course, Sheng Kai was already used to such a scene, so he said, Godfather wasn't the only one who said that. I said the same thing too. So, Sheng Xiao might know about the methods you used to frame Sheng Bowen. Is that so? But he's still asking me to defend Sheng Bowen. Sheng Xiao will never settle scores with you face to face. He always likes to reach out from behind. Then let's wait and see. Xinyu became serious for a moment and let go of the woman in his arms. I'm going to continue working on bail for Sheng Bowen. I'll be leaving first. Sheng Kai sneered. Although his hatred for the Sheng family did not decrease at all, he was happy to see someone take Xinyu down a notch. However, after Sheng Kai's reminder, Xinyu could not help but wonder if Sheng Xiao knew that he had ulterior motives. However, he did not reveal any flaws, except for the Li family's car accident. Thinking of this, Xinyu realized that he was actually breaking out in a cold sweat because of Sheng Xiao. If Sheng Xiao saw this case and knew about his relationship with Bai Sini's case, but his expression did not change, and he still used him as his brother's defense lawyer, what was he trying to do? It seemed like he had to give it a try. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Sheng Xiao drove to pick up Mu Qiqi from class and went straight to the hotel next to the Ferris wheel where the two of them used to date. When Mu Qiqi saw the private room inside, she thought of the way this man pressed her against the table and kissed her. She could not help but blush. Hot. Sheng Xiao saw her blush and asked in a low voice, "You already know the answer." Mu Qiqi glared at him. In the past, their relationship could not be made public, nor could it be discovered by others. What she liked the most was Sheng Xiao bringing her here. Although it could not be made public, Mu Qiqi felt that at that time, she was like a moth flying into a flame. Her heart was beating for him. "It looks like you're reminiscing about my kiss here." Then, Sheng Xiao booked the entire private room and prohibited the waiter from going upstairs. They were already at the restaurant, but wasn't their goal to eat things? Chapter 799. The spacious dining table was now occupied by Mu Qiqi's body. They had been in the same position several times when they were intimate. Even the angle had not changed. You did it on purpose. Mu Qiqi was pressed on the table and could not resist at all. Don't you remember the kiss I gave you back then? Sheng Xiao unbuttoned his shirt and messed up the hair on his forehead. Remember it well and feel it well. Mu Qiqi wrapped her arms around the man's neck and looked at the Ferris wheel outside the window. She felt so weak that her mind was about to collapse. Didn't you tease me during the day? I didn't tease you. I just admire my man. Can't I? Mu Qiqi snorted softly. Since it's admiration, let's go from the body to the heart. With that, Mu Qiqi's skirt was already lifted to her waist. It seems that I have to consider buying this place. Mu Qiqi could not say a word. She only felt the sense of belonging being taken. It was no different from the feeling in her memory. The man was still the same man, and the lover was still the same lover. Only this man could give her this feeling of ecstasy. Deep in love, Mu Qiqi felt the world spinning. There was only one sentence in her chest. She wanted to tell her man, Xiao Xiao, I love you. Isn't that what you should do? Sheng Xiao smiled. He picked up the little one and held her in his arms. The two sat on the sofa and panted. Then, Sheng Xiao tidied up Mu Qiqi's skirt. But the little one hugged his waist tightly. Is it not enough? Sometimes, I wish I could become one with you. We don't have to be apart anywhere. Mu Qiqi was a little tired from the tossing. She leaned against Sheng Xiao's arms and muttered. You didn't become one just now? That's different. That was only temporary. Hearing the word temporary, a certain someone's face instantly darkened. Temporary? I think you don't want to live anymore. With that, Sheng Xiao carried her and walked downstairs. He could not see the night view anymore. He had to go home and teach her a lesson. At the same time, he was also thinking about buying the hotel and setting the second floor as the CEO's exclusive area. No one could enter except them. Not only that, but he also wanted to buy the best bed and install the biggest bathtub. Of course, Mu Qiqi did not notice what was going on in his mind at all. She only felt that her waist was hurting and her legs were wobbly. This man really wanted to eat people when he went crazy. On the other side, Xinyu could not sleep all night because Sheng Xiao might know his background. If he wanted to know if Sheng Xiao was really suspicious of him, there was one more thing he could do, and that was to investigate if Sheng Xiao had contacted other lawyers. If Sheng Xiao really did not trust him, he would definitely contact another lawyer in private to handle Sheng Bowen's case. But if Sheng Xiao did not do that, it meant that Sheng Xiao had yet to discover his true identity. Sheng Xiao had already made arrangements for this, because he did not look for a new lawyer at all. It was the original lawyer of the Sheng family, who was preparing a second plan for Sheng Bowen, because of the little one's reminder. If Shen Yu wanted to investigate, then let him. The next morning, Shen Yu and Sheng Xiao spoke on the phone. The matter of bail had basically been settled. If everything went smoothly, Sheng Bowen could be released from the detention center in the afternoon. Things have been done very well. I'll have to trouble you with the follow-up matters, Lawyer Shen. You spend the money, I'll do the work. Don't worry, Shen Yu answered straightforwardly on the phone. I'll inform the Sheng family to pick him up. Then we'll contact each other later. Now, when Shen Yu was on the phone with Sheng Xiao, he finally knew that he had to be wary. He would no longer speak freely like before, because this man might not be able to draw any important conclusions from his words. No, not only did he have to be careful with his words, but he also had to be friends with the Sheng family. Only then would he know if Sheng Xiao really trusted him, or if he was acting. In the afternoon, Ren Yufei and Shen Yu waited outside the detention center. The bail process went smoothly, but Sheng Bowen had been inside for a few days, so he could not help but look tired. When Ren Yufei saw him, her eyes turned red. She quickly went up to him. You're finally out. It's been hard on you. Are you worried? Sheng Bowen quickly hugged her and comforted her. Thank you, Lawyer Shen. I hope you can help me win the subsequent lawsuit. Isn't that why President Sheng invited me? Shen Yu said with a smile. It was completely different from his unrestrained appearance in front of Sheng Kai. Please come to the Sheng family for dinner tonight, as my thanks to you. Then, I'll do as you say. Shen Yu did not refuse, because he also wanted to see what the so-called Sheng family looked like. Then I'll go back and freshen up first. I'll send a car to pick you up tonight. Give me an address. Sheng Bowen also looked like a little white rabbit, sincerely thanking his benefactor. There's no need. Just tell me where the Sheng family is. I'll drive there myself. That's good too. I don't want you to feel restrained. After saying that, Sheng Bowen and Ren Yufei got into the Sheng family's car. When Shen Yu saw the two of them leave, he felt that the brothers of the Sheng family were really interesting. Sheng Xiao was so sinister and cunning, but the other brothers were so stupid. Sheng Kai was not very capable, but his ambition was not small. This Sheng Bowen was even more rare in the world, and his heart was as big as a woman's. He really didn't know if he could take it when the second step of the plan was implemented. On the other side, after Sheng Bowen got into the car, his expression relaxed. Ren Yufei handed him a towel and wiped his face. The people inside are quite polite, right? Eighth brother is protecting me, of course, Sheng Bowen replied. I've only been in there for a few days. I have a lot of thoughts in my mind. I've made you worry. Something happened to Huang Yao while you were away. It was expected, but eighth brother was there, wasn't he? Sheng Bowen didn't need to read the newspaper to know what kind of situation Huang Yao was in. With such a stain on my back, it's not good for me to be the person in charge of Huang Yao anymore. Returning it to eighth brother is the best arrangement. Bowen, it's not your fault. Sheng Bowen didn't say anything else. He just held his wife's hand and finally felt at ease. A moment later, the two of them returned home. When the old man saw Sheng Bowen, he was finally relieved. He sat in his wheelchair and kept shouting, "It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Grandpa, I've made you worry." Sheng Bowen knelt in front of the old man. Don't worry. This won't happen again in the future. It's good that you're safe. Grandpa only wants you to be safe. Chapter 800. This is also your home. You can arrange it yourself. You don't have to ask me. The old man waved his hand and said, Grandpa also wants to meet this lawyer Shen and thank him properly. Ask Yufei to arrange dinner and call eighth brother and his wife back. Okay. Sheng Bowen nodded. Hurry up and wash up. Get rid of the bad luck on your body. Then Grandpa, I'll go wash up first. Shen Bowen got up from the ground and dragged Ren Yufei back to the room. I'll go prepare a change of clothes for you. Hurry up and go in. Ren Yufei quickly walked to the closet and took out his shirt, trousers and underwear. Sheng Bowen hugged Ren Yufei from behind and placed his chin on her shoulder. I'm sorry, Yufei. What's there to be sorry about? It's not your fault. Ren Yufei let him hug her, and her tone could not help but soften. It's my weakness that makes me a target for others time and time again. I've brought you, the Sheng family, and even eighth brother, countless trouble. Sheng Bowen's tone was hoarse. One could imagine what kind of mental journey he had gone through in the detention center these past few days. It won't happen again. What nonsense are you talking about? Hurry up and take a shower. Ren Yufei turned around and gave him all the clothes. But I miss you. Shen Bowen did not let her go. He dragged Ren Yufei into the bathroom. Let me hug you. I'll feel at ease. Ren Yufei did not know what had happened to him inside, and how sad he was. Therefore, she could only take off her clothes and use her body to warm up her husband. I'm here. We're all here. No matter what you become, I'll be by your side. I won't leave you. Sheng Bowen's eyes turned red, but he did not let Ren Yufei see it. He turned around and hugged her and kissed her passionately. After days of missing her, his body had long been awakened by her hug. It was also in that bathroom that Sheng Bowen resolved his lovesickness and took Ren Yufei countless times until she fainted. Then, Sheng Bowen carried Ren Yufei to bed to rest and changed into a fresh set of clothes. He went out and called Sheng Xiao. Lawyer Shen is coming to the Sheng family for dinner tonight. Grandpa asked you and Xiao Qi to come over too. You invited him? Sheng Xiao asked with a complicated expression. Since they treated me as a target, how could they be so kind as to let me out? Therefore, it's better for me to take the initiative. I can also find Xin Yu's flaws earlier. Sheng Bowen replied calmly. Eighth brother, you know that he treats me like a little rabbit. Since Huang Yao is about to merge with Zhongting, let me do something for myself. Let me continue to be that rabbit that can be slaughtered by others. Although what you said makes sense, Huang Yao has already been taken back. You don't need to get involved in this mess anymore. I'm already in the muddy water. What happened in there for a few days? Sheng Xiao asked Sheng Bowen in return. He could clearly feel that Sheng Bowen's mentality had changed. It's nothing, Sheng Bowen said. I just don't want to continue being a weapon for Sheng Kai to take revenge on the Sheng family. I can promise you to give it a try, but don't act rashly. Okay, see you tonight. After they hung up, Sheng Xiao immediately looked at Su Che, who was beside him. Go and find out what happened to third brother while he was in the detention center. No matter how kind a person was, after being bullied for a long time, they would know to retaliate. Did Sheng Kai want his life that badly? Nightfall. In the luxurious living room of the Sheng family, since a distinguished guest had arrived, and they wanted to celebrate Sheng Bowen's return, the whole family sat around the long dining table. That included Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi. It's all thanks to Lawyer Shen's help that I was able to get out of there so smoothly this time. Let me toast to you. On Sheng Bowen's left was Ren Yufei, and on his right was Xin Yu, as if it was to make it easier for him to take care of his benefactor. I was hired by President Sheng. This is my duty. You don't have to be so polite, third young master. Xin Yu's performance was completely different from when he was with Sheng Kai. In front of the Sheng family, he was gentle and polite. Lawyer Shen is so young, yet so capable. It really makes this old man very envious. As old Sheng spoke, he pointed at the Sheng brothers on the table. All of them are good-for-nothings who only know how to piss me off. You flatter me, old Sheng. Since you're here, don't be shy. If there's anything you want to eat, feel free to tell me. The atmosphere, it seemed very relaxed. Everyone in the Sheng family really treated him like a benefactor. However, it was not surprising that the rest of the Sheng family did not know about this. The main thing was, what did Sheng Xiao think of him? The old man seems to like you very much. If Lawyer Shen is free, you can come visit often. Xin Yu carefully observed Sheng Xiao's every move and expression, but he could not find any flaws. Since old Sheng is so kind, it would be impolite for me to refuse. After Xin Yu said that, he picked up his wine glass and clinked it with Sheng Bowen's. Don't worry, I'll definitely do my best in this lawsuit. Grandpa, since Huang Yao is now in eighth brother's hands, it's not convenient for me to appear. So, I don't want to return to Huang Yao for the time being. Is that okay? Do whatever you want. The old man did not object. After Sheng Bowen heard this, he smiled and turned to Xin Yu. Shall we play golf tomorrow? It's been a long time since I've gone out with my friends so easily. I'll accompany you. Shen Yu agreed readily. Being close to Xing Bowen would also allow him to gain his trust as soon as possible. Then, the second step of the plan would be even easier to carry out. However, Mu Qiqi did not say anything throughout dinner, which made the old man feel rather strange. Qiqi, you're usually so chatty. What's wrong today? You rotten old man, you've let third brother go free, but you've put Master Xiao on the fire again. How can I be happy? Those shareholders of Huang Yao are always unable to do anything, but they're always spoiling things. They're always spouting nonsense. I get annoyed just looking at them. Mu Qiqi snorted lightly. If you really feel the pain, why don't you take care of it? Pretend I didn't say anything. Mu Qiqi immediately admitted defeat. Let him take care of it. With eighth brother taking care of it, Sheng Kai won't be able to cause any more trouble. I can also go fishing with your grandfather in peace. Even Sheng Kai's matter could be said without any scruples in front of him. It seemed that the Sheng family was not on guard against him at all. If that was the case, the game would be fun. Late at night, Shen Yu returned to his villa from the Sheng family's residence. He saw Sheng Kai sitting on the sofa without saying a word. What? Where's the woman you prepared for me? Chapter 801. I'm not on either side. I'm just teacher's man. Shen Yu answered very seriously. Teacher said that if Xing Bowen goes to prison and gives you a big gift, I'll definitely find him. You don't have to care about where I go to eat. I have my own purpose. Sheng Xiao doesn't suspect you? Based on my judgment, he doesn't seem to suspect me, Shen Yu said confidently. Shen Yu said confidently. So you can rest assured that what you hope for will soon come true. The woman you want is in the room upstairs. After saying that, Sheng Kai got up from the sofa. Shen Yu, Godfather went through so much trouble to give me a gift. It makes me feel very scared. Only now did he know how to be scared. Unfortunately, it was too late. Go back. I need to rest. Shen Yu couldn't be bothered to chat and play games with him. Sheng Kai got up and left the villa. However, the doubts in his heart grew, and he felt more and more uneasy. This godfather of his treated him too well. However, other than letting him take over Changrong, he didn't let him do anything else. How could there be such a good thing in the world? It seemed like he had to think of a way to meet his godfather. Late at night, Banyan Courtyard. After Mu Qiqi took a shower, she went to the study. When she saw Sheng Xiao reading documents, she nestled in his arms. Isn't third brother too enthusiastic about Shen Yu? He's clearly one of the murderers who caused him to become like that. He wants to take the initiative to get close to Shen Yu and find out from him the second step of the plan to deal with him. How did he know that Shen Yu has a second step? What else? Would Shen Yu be so kind as to let him out? Sheng Xiao hugged her without raising his head and answered. In the afternoon, I asked Su Che to investigate what happened to third brother in the detention center. I found that he has changed. Shen Yu is even more important than Sheng Kai. He knows a lot of things that Sheng Kai can't know. And he also knows about Bai Sini's case. Go to sleep. I'll go back to my room after I finish reading this part. Sheng Xiao refused to continue the topic. You can read it. I'll sleep here. Like an octopus, Mu Qiqi lay in Sheng Xiao's arms and yawned. By the way, after you clean up that pile of trash in Huang Yao tomorrow, I want to watch your inauguration press conference. I want to see my man look wise and mighty. Sheng Xiao did not say anything, because according to the current scale of Huang Yao, there was no need for him to show up in person or hold any speech. However, since the little thing wanted to see, then he would reluctantly put on an act. Then, he waited until Mu Qiqi fell asleep and carried her back to the room. Seeing that she showed no signs of waking up, he called Tang Yan. Is there any news from the informant? The informant approached Mama Bai and realized that she didn't know who she was working for at all. She only interacted with Su Hong for money. If there were suitable resources, she would trade with Su Hong and settle it directly. But Su Hong is not easy to get close to. If you want to gain Su Hong's trust, you might have to sacrifice yourself. In other words, he needed to introduce resources to Su Hong. Where's Zhou Qin? Zhou Qin and Su Hong. One is in charge of resources, and the other is in charge of security. They have many subordinates and are smart. They don't have any weaknesses. The two of them guarded the secret entrance for the mastermind. That's as far as my men can find. If you want to know more, you have to. Your men can stop now. My men will take action, Sheng Xiao said to Tang Yan. CEO Sheng, you're so passionate about this matter. Is it really just because Mu Qiqi wants to know about the case? The people behind Baisini's case are also targeting the Sheng family, aren't they? Sheng Zhao's tone was slightly cold. It's not just the Sheng family. Even Yu Chengbin are among that group of people now. It's only a matter of time before they deal with you. Tang Yan knew this better than anyone else, and he understood it better than anyone else. I'll wait for your news. The possibility of completing the mission isn't too high. Sheng Xiao was certain because the other party was on guard. I'm mentally prepared for this, Tang Yan answered as he looked at the sleeping Feng Shanshan. After she became pregnant, she was especially sleepy. Even if he stood in front of her and spoke now, Feng Shanshan would not wake him up. He had no other wish in this life. At the very least, he wanted to see his child born safely. The next day, Huang Yao held another board meeting. This time, Sheng Xiao promised the board of directors that he would come up with a plan for Huang Yao's future. In other words, how far did he plan to develop Huang Yao? Of course, Sheng Xiao also said that he would completely clean up the company today. After Huang Yao is merged with Zhongting, the previous management model will be eliminated and Zhongting's system will be adopted. In other words, from now on, there will be no more traders. After Huang Yao is merged with Zhongting, it can share Zhongting's technological resources. As you know, in the past year, Zhongting has researched a lot of advanced technologies. This can optimize the internal structure, further improve Huang Yao's efficiency and reduce costs. Thirdly, after the news of Huang Yao merging with Zhongting was released, the relevant departments of Zhongting have done research on Huang Yao. The rise in the stock price also shows that there is a huge problem. The confidence of the shareholders in Huang Yao is not affected by the previous scandals at all. Fourthly, this is the plan of the new Huang Yao. It is estimated that it will be put into use in 5 years. It will be more than 10 times larger than the current Huang Yao. At that time, its overall strength will be able to become the number 1 in Asia. The team of Zhongting showed the future plan of Huang Yao on the stage in different departments, which excited the shareholders at the conference table. With Zhongting's current speed of development, it would not be difficult to help Huang Yao become the number 1 in the jewelry street. Seeing the excited faces of the shareholders below the stage, Sheng Xiao finally spoke. Do you still have any questions now? In the end, Huang Yao still needs you. I'm convinced. There's nothing more to say. If Huang Yao can really reach this level in the next 5 years, I won't ask you how you want to manage it. I'm satisfied. I'm really satisfied. The shareholders showed their confidence in Sheng Xiao one after another. Sheng Xiao also knew that this group of people only cared about profit and money. Since that was the case, why not be generous? You've all seen the grand blueprint. In that case, everyone should also remember what I said back then. Sheng Xiao asked the people of Zhongting to take the equipment and retreat. I've drawn up these blueprints, not for those who are disloyal to Huang Yao to enjoy. What do you think, Chief Zheng? When Chief Zheng was called, he immediately slammed the table and stood up. Sheng Xiao, what do you mean? Chapter 802. I don't care how many times you've met in private, and how many gifts you've received, but if you continue to stay in Huang Yao, I'll feel disgusted. All the directors come and vote. Should we keep a director like him who intends to harm the company's interests? Sheng Xiao, you want to expel me from the board of directors? Director Zheng suddenly understood what Sheng Xiao meant. You guessed right, Sheng Xiao said bluntly. Isn't this what you deserve? The shareholders couldn't help but look at each other. As I said, today's blueprint is built on the foundation of unity. I, Sheng Xiao, will not raise a traitor for nothing and harm everyone's interests. If you keep him for old time's sake, I won't object. But what you saw just now will be a dream. Sheng Xiao tilted his body, his posture elegant. Vote or not? You decide. Everyone thought about it. No matter how deep their friendship was, they couldn't go against their interests, so they said, I'm sorry, Director Zheng. I'm sorry, brother. You. Director Zheng was furious, but there was nothing he could do. After all, more than half of the votes were cast. As long as the director signed it, it would count. A bunch of ingrates. Do you think you're very clean? Director Gao, you and Sheng Kai have also met in private. And you, Director Liu, you're not a good person either, are you? That's great. That way, I don't have to call names one by one. Sheng Xiao couldn't help but thank Director Zheng for saving him trouble. You know what to do. If you quit, I might be able to save you some face. Sheng Xiao, you'll die a horrible death sooner or later. Seeing that there was nothing he could do, Director Zheng cursed Sheng Xiao loudly. Just you wait. In less than 3 years, he'll definitely die without a whole corpse. As soon as he said that, before Sheng Xiao could say anything, Su Che threw him out. He was so fast that no one could react at all. When the other 2 directors saw this, they took the initiative to stand up. Sheng Xiao was not easy to deal with, and his bodyguards were not to be trifled with. A moment later, the meeting room returned to silence. Sheng Xiao glanced at the remaining people and said, "Since you want Huang Yao to become the #1 in Asia, then don't have second thoughts. Because this kind of thing can't escape my eyes. I don't want a few more spies to stab me in the back. So remember, as long as you're wholeheartedly for Huang Yao, everything is negotiable. I will fulfill my promise to all of you. But if you still want to be bewitched by Sheng Kai or coerced by others, then I'm sorry, this cake will never belong to you. I understand what you mean. We must be absolutely loyal." One of the directors understood Sheng Xiao's intention. That's right. Sheng Xiao nodded. As long as you are loyal, you can sit at home and make money. Why not? If that's the case, then let's make an alliance. Anyone who does anything that harms Huang Yao will be kicked out of the board immediately. I think so. I agree. Zhongting still has matters to attend to. The rest is up to you. Sheng Xiao had achieved his goal and stood up from the chairman's seat. By the way, I'll get someone to prepare for the inauguration conference. This can be considered a shot in the arm for the outside world. After that, Sheng Xiao left the conference room. Before he left, he said to Ren Yufei, third sister-in-law, compile a list of all the positions in Huang Yao, including whether you still want to stay in Huang Yao. Give me an answer tomorrow. Ren Yufei was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect Sheng Xiao to think so carefully. Since Sheng Bowen was no longer in Huang Yao, it was not appropriate for her to continue staying. Sheng Bowen had already told her his plan last night. He had to deal with Shen Yu's matter first before doing what he wanted to do. He did not force Ren Yufei to continue staying in Huang Yao. If Ren Yufei had plans to further her studies, he could accompany her the entire time. Ren Yufei just felt that it was a little inappropriate to leave the burden entirely to Sheng Xiao. After all, Xiao Qi was unhappy. Do you really think that Xiao Qi is angry? Moreover, it's easy for eighth brother to have one more Huang Yao. He knows how to use people and knows how to delegate power. He only needs to make some decisions. It won't take much effort at all. Sheng Bowen was full of confidence in Sheng Xiao. That person was born to make money. Moreover, he was cunning and unparalleled. You really don't know how to feel sorry for others. He has Xiao Qi to feel sorry for, so I won't join in the fun. Besides, he doesn't care. Sheng Bowen hugged his wife and chuckled. Didn't eighth brother ask you to give him an answer tomorrow? Take this opportunity to quit your job. I know you have something you want to do. I can accompany you now. Is it really good for us to be worms like this? Ren Yufei still couldn't bear it. You don't have to feel guilty. Besides, I have a fund and investment plan. Don't forget that I still have shares in the Hu family. My own money is enough to support us. If you really want to work, wait until you learn what you like. Then you can take it as a job. It can also be considered working for the Sheng family. Ren Yufei couldn't stand Sheng Bowen's words. In the end, she nodded and agreed. How's playing golf with Shen Yu during the day? It's just basic contact. I'm afraid I'll need to go through more things before Shen Yu can show his true colors. Let's not think about this anymore. I'm going to sleep. Sheng Bowen naturally changed the topic. However, Ren Yufei couldn't fall asleep no matter what. In fact, she didn't want Sheng Bowen to get close to Shen Yu at all. Bowen, actually, I know that after you came out of the detention center, your mentality has changed a little. Although I don't know what you've experienced, I can feel that you seem to hate Sheng Kai and those who hurt you. In the darkness, Sheng Bowen opened his eyes and said calmly, I'm not a saint. I also feel wronged. I'm afraid that you'll become like Sheng Kai. Hearing this, Sheng Bowen turned around and hugged Ren Yufei. Silly girl, how is that possible? I just want justice. I don't want to hurt the innocent. After Ren Yufei heard this, she slowly closed her eyes and felt relieved. The next day, Ren Yufei brought the list of Huang Yao employees and their resignation letters to Zhongting and met Xing Xiao. President Sheng, this is the list you wanted as well as my resignation letter. I promised Bowen last night that I'll go out with him when I have time. That's a good thing, Xing Xiao replied without raising his head. Eighth brother, also I feel that Bowen is a little strange. I don't know if it has anything to do with the few days he was locked up. I just feel that his mind has become heavier now. Chapter 803. Su Che had investigated Sheng Bowen's situation in the detention center. He had not been put in any trouble, but someone died in the detention center, right across from Third Young Master. The last person that person saw and spoke to was Third Young Master, so he must have been traumatized. Su Che told Sheng Xiao the results of the investigation. Sheng Xiao frowned, but only for a second before letting go. Since there's nothing serious, let's put this matter aside. Also, I need you to go to J City. Su Che knew very well what was in J City. I've arranged for 2 people to approach Zhou Qin there, but I'm worried about their safety. You go and receive them. Do whatever it takes to ensure their survival. Why must we get involved in this mess? It was not that Su Che was unwilling to go, but Sheng Xiao was not the kind of person who was nosy. Even if Mu Qiqi really wanted to know the truth behind Bai Sini's case, Sheng Xiao would not joke around with other people's lives. Whether Bai Sini's case can be solved or not has nothing to do with me, but I must find out what the person behind this wants to do with Sheng Kai, or the Sheng family. Why does it have to be Sheng Kai? So, working with Tang Yan is just to get what we need, Sheng Xiao explained patiently. I understand. Go early and come back early. Also, no matter what you know or what you find out, as long as it's related to safety, retreat immediately. I'll only give you a week. Yes. Su Che nodded. He knew the severity of these matters. However, if Su Che left, Mu Qiqi would definitely ask about it. However, it was easy to dismiss him. He only needed to say that he was going home to visit his family, and it would be logical. After Sheng Xiao took over Huang Yao, he carried out a comprehensive overhaul of Huang Yao. At present, the new Huang Yao map was still being planned, so Sheng Xiao adjusted the positions of all the previous departments of Huang Yao. However, such a ruthless approach would definitely hurt the interests of the old employees. Sheng Xiao got people to appease them. The old employees had 2 choices. The first was to leave with a high pension, and the second was to enter Zhongting to work. Their goal was to remove these people from Huang Yao. In just a few days, Huang Yao seemed to have been reborn and had a new vitality. 2 days later, Huang Yao would hold the inauguration conference of the chairman. Everyone sighed. After so many twists and turns, Huang Yao still returned to Sheng Xiao's hands. If they had known, why would they have wasted so much time? In the evening, Mu Qiqi returned home. When she saw the man's tall figure, she was infatuated. She quietly walked over and hugged the man from behind. Xiao Xiao. Sheng Xiao hummed softly. You're getting more and more alluring, like an unreachable god. Now that I'm hugging you, it's a little unreal. I feel like I'm blaspheming the gods. How? Profanity in bed? Sheng Xiao smirked. Huang Yao and Zhongting are all yours now, but why do I feel that the burden on your shoulders is getting heavier and heavier? How miserable. Sheng Xiao turned around and carried her to the desk. Then, he placed his hands on both sides of her body. Am I pitiful? That's right. Look at those busy people. Their feet don't even touch the ground. Even when they're eating, they're in a hurry. In the end, they toil to death. Do you know what it means to be efficient? Sheng Xiao hooked her chin and said, for example, right now I can deal with work while letting you. Mu Qiqi followed his gaze and knew what he wanted to do. She quickly blocked his line of sight. Rascal, Go out and fill the tub. I'll come over to take a shower right away. Sheng Xiao patted her cheek and emphasized. With you. I want to come to your inauguration press conference too. Prepare a seat for me. Mu Qiqi hooked her arms around Sheng Xiao's neck and said, I want to see my man at his most handsome. When am I not handsome? When you bully me. After saying that, Mu Qiqi got out of Sheng Xiao's arms and walked briskly back to the bedroom. Soon, Sheng Xiao returned to his room after dealing with work. Mu Qiqi lay in the bathtub and waved at him. Xiao Xiao, do you know why I feel that you're pitiful? It's not because you've become the co-chairman, but because you're almost 30. There was a complicated look on Sheng Xiao's face when he heard that, and it slowly darkened. A man at 30 was clearly a very charming age, but it was not useful with Mu Qiqi, because she was not even 22 years old. In 2 years, I'll be able to call you Master Xiao. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He stepped into the bathtub and pressed Mu Qiqi down in the bathtub, teaching her a lesson. Do you still think I'm old? You only know how to bully me. Mu Qiqi pouted and could no longer be smug. Because of her age, a certain someone was hit where it hurt. That night, he pressed Mu Qiqi on the bed and bullied her over and over again. In the middle of the night, Mu Qiqi could not take it anymore and begged for mercy. I was wrong. Master Xiao, I was wrong. You're not old at all. Really, you're still full of energy. Sheng Xiao squeezed out all her strength before letting her go and holding her in his arms. Mu Qiqi was so tired that she could not even be bothered to lift her eyelids. She only muttered, After a while, I'll give you a child. I'm already at the age of a father. I can't lose to my peers. Who cared? He could not even handle one. If there were 2 more, wouldn't he go to heaven? Ever since he handed over Huang Yao, Sheng Bowen's energy had returned. He had completely thrown away the burden on his body. When 6th brother saw this, he accepted his fate. There are so many brothers in the family, but 8th brother is really the only one. It's not easy for him to support this family. Since you know it's not easy for him, do you still hate him? Sheng Bowen approached 6th brother and asked. Grandfather used to be biased towards 8th brother. It's not without reason. I suddenly understand why grandfather protected 8th brother in the past. Actually, it's not just because he likes 8th brother, but also because he knows that only 8th brother can ensure the peace of the Sheng family. 6th brother sighed. He knew that he was not talented enough and could not do much. So, I plan to withdraw from Huang Yao. Anyway, Huang Yao doesn't lack a mediocre person like me. What do you plan to do? I want to try the education industry. 6th brother answered. Your 6th sister-in-law has a way. Don't mislead me. Sheng Bowen could not help but laugh. But this is pretty good. What about you? What plans do you have after leaving Huang Yao? Chapter 804. Originally, Huang Yao had been led by Sheng Bowen. Although it had developed slowly, it was still developing, and the Sheng family would not have changed much. Now that Huang Yao had merged into Zhongting, not only Huang Yao, but even the Sheng family had also taken on a new look. Sheng Kai's godfather had promised him a gift, but he had made the Sheng family to the point where he could no longer interfere. He did not know if this gift was for him or the Sheng family. Thinking about it, Sheng Kai felt that it was very ironic. In 2 days, it would be Sheng Zhao's inauguration conference. Now that Zhongting was leading Huang Yao and Jianchuan, it was like the sun in the sky. Therefore, Sheng Kai stayed in the company to drink. When Shen Yu saw this, he could not help but sneer. You're blaming teacher, aren't you? I just don't understand. He asked me to take over Changrong, but he didn't give me any missions. He said he would give me a gift, but he made the Sheng family more united and indestructible. Now to the Sheng family, I'm a complete traitor. Sheng Kai's face was red, and he was extremely dispirited. Teacher must have his reasons for doing things. You don't have to be discouraged so quickly. You have to know that you have nothing. Shen Yu pointed at his sore spot. I heard that Sheng Xiao did nothing for half a year, and just hid in the Shen family. Everyone laughed at him, and said that he had become a soft-footed shrimp that relied on women. But what happened? Half a year later, Zhongting appeared, and he had his current status. He even sat in the same space as the country's leader for the New Year's Eve dinner. Moreover, teacher didn't promise you to deal with the Sheng family. He only promised you to send Sheng Bowen to prison. Now Sheng Bowen is still within our control. He didn't go back on his word. Sheng Kai laughed self-deprecatingly and lay down on the sofa. Even if Sheng Bowen is in jail, Sheng Xiao will get him out and even settle the score with me. I always feel like I'm in a trap. Sheng Kai smiled self-deprecatingly and lay down on the sofa. When Shen Yu heard this, a complicated look flashed in his eyes. Then he turned around and saw Sheng Kai drunk on the sofa. Only now did he realize that this was a trap. Shen Yu sneered and left Sheng Kai's office. He had been very close to Sheng Bowen recently, so he could not be detected by Sheng Bowen. However, after leaving Changrong, he took out his phone and called Jean Bo in the car. Teacher, I'm afraid Sheng Kai can't be controlled. He seems to have reacted. Nothing can escape my control. Later, I'll send him some missions to stimulate his nerves, and he'll be obedient again. Moreover, in the future, I'll give him some missions to let him know that following me is his only way out. I understand. Keep an eye on Sheng Bowen. When the time is right, take action. Okay. Shen Yu nodded. I trust you. Don't let me down. Shen Yu was not like Sheng Kai, who lived a muddled life and was used by others for no reason. The reason why he followed Jean Bo was because he had been raised by Jean Bo since he was young. Sheng Kai could not touch Jean Bo's fur, but he knew very well why Jean Bo wanted to provoke the Sheng family. Currently, the mayor was a member of the Shen family, but in 2 years, there would be a change of leadership. The reason why Zhongting was so smooth was because of the secret support of the Shen family. Shen Jianchuan was Sheng Zhao's father-in-law and one of the main shareholders of Zhongting. Although he did not hold a position, the relationship between the Shen family and the Sheng family was like that of lips and teeth. They relied on each other, and the foundation of Jianchuan did not collapse. In addition, his teacher had a grudge with the Shen family. With these grudges added together, Jean Bo would definitely take revenge on these two families in the future. Now that Huang Yao and Zhongting were tied to Sheng Xiao, there was nothing bad about it. When the time came, as long as he dealt with Mu Qiqi, Sheng Xiao would immediately collapse. As for Sheng Kai, he was just a scapegoat, just as Sheng Xiao had expected. In the past few days, Sheng Bowen and Shen Yu met more and more. He seemed to have decided that Shen Yu was his friend. If there was anything good, he was willing to bring this brother with him. They ate, drank, and had fun. From time to time, he would even take Shen Yu on a night cruise. You've only been out for a short while. It's better to keep a low profile, Shen Yu advised him. Don't get caught again. What does it matter? Now that eighth brother is in charge, I'm just a shrimp soldier. There's nothing worth paying attention to. Don't worry. Sheng Bowen put his arm around Shen Yu's shoulder and said, I heard that you're an orphan. Shen Yu's expression changed slightly. When Sheng Bowen saw this, he quickly explained, I didn't mean to ask about you. It's just that I feel that there's no brother in life. You don't have a family, so just treat me as your brother. Anyway, I'll think of you whenever I have something to eat and play with. Shen Yu looked at Sheng Bowen's innocent face. It seemed that no matter how big the predicament was, he could face it with a smile. Are you born to trust people so easily? Of course not. I also differentiate between people, okay? I naturally trust those who are good to me, such as eighth brother and you. After Sheng Bowen said that, he clinked glasses with him. There are many beauties on the ship. You should go and chat with them. I'm married, so I don't have a chance. Shen Yu smiled and nodded. You didn't see sister-in-law? She's been busy studying recently and ignored me. Sheng Bowen helplessly picked up his wine glass and drank it in one gulp. Don't trust others so much. Shen Yu smiled faintly. He took his wine glass and went into the crowd. Sheng Bowen turned to face the sea, allowing the cold wind to blow on his face. Don't trust others so much? Was it because he felt guilty towards him? He also wanted to know when Shen Yu would make a move on him again. At noon the next day, Gu Xiling put on the airs of the CEO's wife and went to Changrong to see what Sheng Kai was doing. When she saw the invitation to the inauguration conference of the chairman of Huang Yao on his desk, she immediately threw it into the trash can. Do you still have any pride? You actually want to congratulate Sheng Xiao on his ascension? You don't know anything, so don't talk. Sheng Kai asked his secretary to pick up the invitation. Sheng Kai, how long are you going to be fooled by your godfather? Gu Xiling tugged at Sheng Kai's collar and said, he gave you Changrong and didn't let you do anything else. He said he would give you a big gift. But what happened in the end? Sheng Xiao directly merged Huang Yao into Zhongting. You don't have any chance at all now. Do you know that? Sheng Kai calmly pushed Gu Xiling away, and then looked at her coldly. I know what I'm doing. Then you can spend the rest of your life with your godfather. After saying that, Gu Xiling left Changrong in tears. Chapter 805. However, in this family, only Gu Xiling was sober, because Jin Bo was introduced to her by Gu Xiling's grandfather. Speaking of a fire pit, it was his grandfather who pushed him into it. The next day, the inauguration ceremony of Huang Yao's chairman was held at the Four Seas Empire Hotel. Many well-known people in the industry, including Huang Yao's partners, were present to congratulate them. When Sheng Kai reached the door, he did not have the courage to go in. Godfather asked him to welcome people with a smile, but he did not want to go in and be mocked by the Sheng family. Moments later, Sheng Zhao's car stopped at the entrance of the hotel. He got out of the car in a blue-striped retro suit, followed by Mu Qiqi in a long dress. They were about to enter the hotel together, but Sheng Xiao seemed to have seen Sheng Kai's car. He said to Xiaoqi, you go in and look for your Lu Qianqian. She is here today. I will come in soon. Mu Qiqi glanced to the side and saw Sheng Kai's car. She smiled and said, hurry up. After Mu Qiqi went in, Sheng Xiao walked to Sheng Kai's car. Sheng Kai rolled down the car window. He knew that there was no way to escape now. Congratulations, CEO Sheng. You tried so hard to get rid of Huang Yao. But now you have it in your pocket again. Even Sheng Kai himself did not realize how sour his words were. You control everything like a god and toy with other people's lives. Don't you find it interesting? Get out of Changrong as soon as possible. At least admit defeat. It's much better than being a scapegoat. Sheng Zhao's expression was indifferent. I didn't harm you. You have to understand this. Even if the Sheng family doesn't want me, there will always be someone who wants me. I don't have any relatives, but I still have a godfather. I won't go to your inauguration ceremony. Having said that, Sheng Kai started the car. Sheng Xiao, one day, you will lose the most important thing to you. Rather than saying it was a threat, it was more like a curse. The most important thing? The chairman of Huang Yao or Zhongting. It was cheer. Soon, Sheng Xiao returned to Mu Qiqi's side at the hotel lobby. However, Mu Qiqi was busy chatting with Lu Qianqian, and he was busy among the guests. Mu Qiqi, I've never met a friend like you. Do you know how long it's been since we last contacted each other? Lu Qianqian was dressed in bright red, looking bright and generous. She scolded Mu Qiqi right to her face. You're still talking about it. You didn't take the initiative to call me, Mu Qiqi retorted. The two of them looked at each other resentfully, and couldn't help but burst into laughter. There was such a kind of friend in the world. Even if they hadn't contacted each other for a long time, as long as they were together, they would still feel comfortable and have endless topics to talk about. You're now the wife of the joint CEO of Huang Yao and Zhongting. That's amazing. Unlike me, I have to work from dawn to dusk every day. Lu Qianqian complained to Mu Qiqi. What about Lin Muan? Why isn't he here? They're training at school. Lu Qianqian answered with a smile. When she mentioned her lover, there was a sweet smile on her lips. In short, keep in touch often in the future. Don't be so distant. How could I? We won't be estranged. The two of them sat together like sisters, and there was no end to their conversation. But soon, Sheng Zhao's inauguration speech began. In the huge living room, where the spotlight was gathered, Sheng Xiao walked to the podium amidst the applause. He faced all the guests, noble and confident. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao, and felt as if her soul had flown out of her body. This was her man. He was the greatest pride of her life. When I left Huang Yao, I swore to myself that I would never meddle in Huang Yao's affairs again. But ironically, I'm standing here again today. Whether it's my departure or my return, I think there's only one reason, and that's because of my family. The glory of the family. I didn't care when the older generation sacrificed their lives for the glory. But now that I'm married and have a career, I gradually understand how precious the things they want to pass on are. From today onwards, Huang Yao will officially be under Zhongting. I will also officially be the joint CEO. Here, I will fulfill all my promises. Within 5 years, Huang Yao will become the best in Asia. Mu Qiqi did not listen carefully to what Sheng Xiao said because her head was buzzing, and she could not hear anything. She did not know what was going on. At this moment, facing the man standing on the podium, the man who was respected by everyone, she just wanted to press him on the sofa and kiss him hard, because she knew how charming and perfect his figure was under the suit. As she thought about it, her cheeks turned red. Lu Qianqian noticed her abnormality and quickly asked, "Are you not feeling well? Why are your ears so red?" "I'm fine." Mu Qiqi quickly waved her hand. "Are you proud? Xiao Qi, you got yourself such a perfect man when you were only 17. I'm working hard too." Mu Qiqi puffed out her chest and said, "I'll work harder to be worthy of him." "What do you mean by worthy? Hurry up and give him a child. This old man will be completely tied down." Mu Qiqi frowned when she heard this. "Do you think he's old?" "That's not it. It's just that in the past few years, he seems to have become more and more mature. In the past, no one dared to provoke him. He was frivolous and didn't play his cards according to common sense. Now that I see him, I only feel that this man seems to have matured a lot. However, I know that he must have more sinister tricks." "You're the sinister one." Mu Qiqi immediately defended him. "Look, you still say that you don't value a lover over a friend. I just said a few words, and you became fierce. However, it's understandable. Because to you, Master Zhao's position is not as simple as a husband. In the beginning, he was a teacher and older brother, and later he became an uncle. He's almost done playing the role in your life. It's only human nature for you to protect him like this. It's good that you know. No one could compare to this uniqueness. No one else could even think about touching it. She was the only woman in Sheng Zhao's life, the flesh on the tip of his heart." Soon Sheng Zhao's inaugural speech ended and applause rang out. Then, Sheng Xiao left the stage and returned to Mu Qiqi's side. He pinched her face and said, "Didn't you say that you wanted to see me stand on the stage? Why were you daydreaming just now?" Mu Qiqi immediately hugged his hand and shouted, "I'm innocent. I've been thinking about you." "Then what did I say?" Mu Qiqi blinked. They were already an old couple, so there was nothing much to say. She leaned close to Sheng Zhao's ear and whispered something. Chapter 806. Mu Qiqi blinked at him. Sheng Xiao teased her even more. "Are you trying to squeeze me dry? Chief Sheng, take care of yourself." Mu Qiqi knew that Sheng Xiao would not do anything to her in front of everyone. It was only because they were in public that she dared to be so presumptuous. Sheng Xiao did not say anything, but while the new team of Huang Yao was giving their speech, he dragged Mu Qiqi to the lounge prepared by the team and locked the door. When Mu Qiqi saw Sheng Xiao unbuttoning his shirt, she immediately stuck herself to him. She had been thinking about it just now and her heart was itching. This little one's thoughts were too unconventional. While everyone else was admiring his heroic posture on the stage, she was thinking about how seductive his figure was under the suit. "Now I'll let you see all you want." Mu Qiqi did not stay idle. She climbed onto Sheng Zhao's legs and straddled him. "That's because others don't dare to think about it. Only I dare." Sheng Xiao stared at this little one. His eyes were burning with a thick flame. His lips gradually curled into a smile. "How long have you been thinking about it?" "Since you stood on it. I'll satisfy you." So it was not that he would get angry when he looked at her. She would also. The little one was young and energetic. It was the age to enjoy the love between men and women. Mu Qiqi blushed. She could not help but look down and then mumbled, "My dress is dirty. I'll be a joke when I go out later." "You were quite proud when you lit the fire. Do you still care about the dress now?" Mu Qiqi took the opportunity to hug Sheng Xiao tightly. "I only care about you. I'm going crazy for you." Sheng Xiao was satisfied after hearing that. The little one was infatuated with him. Sheng Xiao couldn't help but ask for enough of her. Then, he carried her into the bathroom and tidied her up. Half an hour later, The two of them went out again. However, Mu Qiqi's dress was already wrinkled. If it was Lin Muan on top, could you still hold it? Mu Qiqi's dress was already wrinkled. When Lu Qianqian saw them, she could guess what they were doing. So she blinked at Mu Qiqi. Can't you hold it in? Lu Qianqian shook her head at that. Only a ghost would be able to control himself. Seeing you guys like this, I'm relieved. It's been a few years. It seems that Master Xiao really wants you for the rest of his life. Of course. Mu Qiqi snorted. How can I joke about that? Show off. After saying that, Lu Qianqian decided to change the topic. If she wanted to talk about Sheng Xiao with Mu Qiqi, she could not stop for a day and a night. Still, Lu Qianqian thought that Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao had only been together in the beginning, when Mu Qiqi had a crush on him and suffered. Over the years, Sheng Xiao had protected her well. But would their lives be smooth sailing? Even if Sheng Xiao could summon the wind and summon the rain in Jianchuan, that was precisely why there were more people who saw him as a thorn in their side. If that day really came, he hoped that Qiqi would be able to endure it. Just like that, it was a lively and bustling day. The news was broadcast from morning to night. After the inauguration conference, there would be a luncheon and dinner. Old Master Sheng did not attend because of his health. However, when he saw Eighth Brother's appearance on the television news, he was relieved. Huang Yao had merged with Zhongting. Even if he died immediately, he would have no regrets. However, on Sheng Kai's side, he did not know how he felt when he saw such news. After all, he had always regarded Eighth Brother as his enemy in this life. What else could Sheng Kai feel? Seeing such news, he could only hide in the company and drink. When he went home, he would still be laughed at by Gu Xiling. When Shen Yu entered Changrong, he saw the wine bottles all over the floor. One could imagine that Sheng Kai was simply drinking. Lawyer Shen was also invited to Sheng Zhao's inauguration conference today. How do you feel? Shen Yu kicked open the wine bottle and pulled Sheng Kai onto the sofa. You can't take it anymore? If there's no place for you in the Sheng family, can't you earn it yourself? It has nothing to do with you. Sheng Kai broke free from Shen Yu's hand. Shen Yu did not continue. He just sat down next to Sheng Kai. I'm about to make a move on Sheng Bowen. How good is that? Someone will avenge you. What else are you dissatisfied with? After hearing this, Sheng Kai sobered up a little. Make a move on what? You don't need to know that. You only need to know that Sheng Bowen will definitely go to prison. This is what teacher promised you. And it's also what I promised teacher. What kind of grudge does Godfather have with the Sheng family? Sheng Kai seized the opportunity to ask Shen Yu the question in his heart. Is he keeping me like this to take revenge on the Sheng family? Take revenge on the Sheng family? Shen Yu laughed. Of course not. I can only tell you that wiping out the Sheng family is also one of teacher's wishes. As long as it's the same as your goal, it's fine. In the future, everything in the Sheng family will be yours. I don't see any hope. Teacher will tell you personally. One day. After saying that, Shen Yu snatched the wine bottle from his hand. Arrange a woman for me. The night is long, and I'm very lonely. Sheng Kai sobered up and propped himself up on the sofa. He did not know if Shen Yu's words were true or false. Sheng Xiao wanted him to withdraw from Changrong. Withdraw? How? Should he return to Huang Yao like a pug, wagging his tail and begging for mercy? Thinking of this, he became even more determined to follow Jin Bo. Even if he really could not beat Sheng Xiao, he would stay until the end. He wanted to see who would really have the last laugh. Not long after, Jin Bo called. Xiao Kai, do you have time? Come to Godfather's place for a drink. Tell me the address. Jin Bo gave him the address over the phone. Sheng Kai immediately perked up and asked the driver to drive him to Royal Court. When he arrived at the private room, Sheng Kai saw Jin Bo and a group of people he did not know eating. When Jin Bo saw him, he quickly explained to the people around him. He's a child and doesn't know anything. I brought him here to introduce him to everyone. This is my godson Sheng Kai. Then he whispered into Sheng Kai's ear. These are all people around Deputy Mayor Yao. Behave well and don't be rude. Sheng Kai nodded and immediately picked up his wine glass. He toasted the people he knew one by one. After 3 rounds of drinking, Sheng Kai finally understood what his godfather was planning. However, he did not make it public. When he left the dinner party, he heard Jin Bo say, "Xiao Kai, Godfather asked you to stay in Changrong to train your character. Godfather hopes that you will do things for him wholeheartedly. Godfather trusts me. I will definitely go through fire and water," Sheng Xiao replied. Chapter 807. There are some things that I won't say out loud. You know who I'm doing this for. In 3 years, when the time is up, Jianchuan will be our world. So on the surface, I'm only giving you Xingboan, but in fact, I don't plan to let go of anyone in the Sheng family. If you're willing to contribute, then I'll count you in. Of course, if you still remember our old friendship, then I won't force you. Now that things had come to this, what way was there for him to turn back? I'm willing. Then get along well with Ayu, Jin Bo said meaningfully. There will be many opportunities in the future. Young man, stay calm. Sheng Kai nodded. Although Jin Bo still did not give him any missions, at least he knew who his godfather was working for and why. Now he knew why his godfather was so afraid of the Sheng family and the Shen family. It was because they were stumbling blocks. Godfather, with Sheng Xiao around, it's not easy to touch the Sheng family. Sheng Xiao is not easy to touch, but there are always people who are. In Jianchuan, who doesn't know what Sheng Xiao's heart is? If you want to weaken Sheng Xiao's power, you have to touch his heart. But now is not the time. Heart. He was hinting at Mu Qiqi. Moreover, Mu Qiqi was the daughter of the Shen family. If he touched this person, at least the Sheng family and the Shen family would be in a mess. Akai, when you want to do big things, you must know how to give up and give up. Sheng Kai nodded secretly. I understand. If you need anything, Godfather, tell me at any time. It's too late today. Let's go home. I know you've been sleeping in the company recently. There can't only be one woman. Don't wrong yourself. The one at home isn't sensible, but there will always be sensible ones outside. There's no need to be unhappy for her. I understand, Godfather. Jin Bo was very satisfied. He patted Sheng Kai's shoulder. Do well. So they were all targeting Mu Qiqi. However, Mu Qiqi had been taught by Sheng Xiao. Her personality and style of doing things were very similar. Did Jin Bo think that a girl was easy to deal with? Not really. He had suffered too many losses in Mu Qiqi's hands. Perhaps this was why Jin Bo wanted to keep him. However, Jin Bo was right. Without Mu Qiqi, Sheng Xiao would lose his heart. Without Sheng Xiao, the Shen family and the Sheng family would lose their protective talisman. At that time, it would be easy for him to make a move. Mu Qiqi did not know that she had become a target. When she got home, she told Mama Sheng about the grand occasion at the hotel. Sheng Xiao sat by the side and listened to her nonsense, but he could not hide the smile at the corner of his eyes. Mama Sheng did not hear anything from Mu Qiqi. She could tell that Mu Qiqi admired her son. Therefore she also smiled. Xiaoqi, in your heart, he is a treasure. No matter what, he is always heroic. So Mommy doesn't think he's handsome. It's our own son. Who cares if he's handsome or not? Even if he's ugly, we still have to acknowledge him. Mu Qiqi thought about it carefully. That made sense. The one who had jumped out of her stomach did not seem to be ugly, so she did not care too much. However, today, she was so focused on the difference between Sheng Xiao and not wearing a suit that she had forgotten that she had not seen Su Che for a few days. Where's Su Che? He went home to visit his family, Sheng Xiao answered naturally. He'll be gone for a few more days. I've never heard you talk about Su Che's family. It's been a long day. Let's go upstairs and take a shower. With that, Sheng Xiao got up. Mu Qiqi followed behind him, but she did not follow him into the bathroom. She waited until he was soaking in the bathtub, before she took a pillow and stuffed it into her belly. Then she walked up to him. So this is what pregnancy feels like. Sheng Xiao opened his eyes and saw her messing around. His face darkened. What are you playing at now? Didn't Mom say that she doesn't mind her own child? I just want to try and imagine what it feels like. Sheng Xiao grabbed her arm and pulled her closer to his handsome face. There was a hint of helplessness in his eyes. What are you hinting at? I'm not hinting at anything. I know I can't give birth to your child yet. Mu Chichi took out the pillow from her abdomen. I just occasionally think about what it would feel like to be pregnant with your child and give birth to your baby. After Sheng Xiao heard this, he let go of her. I plan to have a child after I'm 35. I'm already 27. Mu Chichi protested. Actually, it's the best age for a man to have a child at 32. Then let's make it 32. Don't think about it before that. Sheng Xiao deliberately said it later. This thing would definitely go to the middle part in order to compromise. It turned out that he knew her well enough. After Mu Chichi was disappointed, Sheng Xiao pulled her into the bathtub with one hand. Giving birth is not as easy as you think. Even if you're 24 years old, you've just started working. It's not suitable for you to have a child at all. Don't forget that you still have a lot of youth, just because you're envious of others. Mu Chichi leaned into Sheng Xiao's arms and nodded gently. As long as it's for you, I can do anything crazy. But look at me. I know. In fact, Sheng Xiao knew that Mu Chichi had already tested him time and time again for the sake of having a child. However, her situation was different from Feng Shanshan's. Be good and don't cause trouble for me all day. When did I cause trouble for you? Mu Chichi couldn't help but defend herself. She went to class on time, and went to Sonda class on time during the holidays. There was no student more obedient than her. I messed with one at noon. Sheng Xiao stood on the stage and spoke, but Mu Chichi was thinking about taking off her suit. Didn't you feel good then? Mu Chichi drew circles on his chest. Since you came during the day, you'll let me sleep at night, right? Yes. Sheng Xiao nodded. He had no objections. But the truth was, didn't you say that you'll let me sleep? You sleep. I'll move. Even if he didn't want children, he was still so diligent. Moreover, the most terrifying thing was that he knew her menstrual cycle at all times. He was like a god who knew when she would get pregnant, and when she wouldn't. Mu Chichi thought to herself that it would be great if she was really pregnant. She could rest for 10 months. After Sheng Xiao's inauguration ceremony, Sheng Bowen asked Shen Yu out for a drink on a cruise. It was obvious that he was really happy that this heavy burden had been taken away by Sheng Xiao. I'm going mountain climbing in a few days. Do you want to bring you along? Sheng Bowen asked Shen Yu in a good mood. I'll be alone. Yufei has classes and can't leave. I'm bored and want to find a companion. Which mountain? Shen Yu asked. Chapter 808. On foot. Drive to the foot of the mountain, Sheng Bowen replied. Then let's set it for 3 days later. I'll call you in the morning. You don't have any cases to deal with, right? I've only accepted your case for now, Shen Yu answered with a hidden meaning. Then I'll pick you up when the time comes. Sheng Bowen looked unsuspecting and confided in Shen Yu. On one hand, Shen Yu felt that Sheng Bowen was very pitiful, but on the other hand, he felt that Sheng Bowen was very sad. Sheng Xiao was so difficult to deal with, but his brothers were all stupid. He was just worried that he wouldn't be able to find an opportunity to deal with Sheng Bowen, but he didn't expect him to deliver himself to him. That was good. It wasn't a good idea to keep dragging things out like this. Then I'll prepare early. It's still very cold on the mountain. Prepare more clothes. With that, Sheng Bowen patted Shen Yu on the shoulder. Shen Yu thought that Sheng Bowen didn't know what he was going to prepare. But he was wrong. Sheng Bowen knew that Shen Yu had not taken action for so many days because he didn't seem to be giving the two of them a chance to be alone. So he gave it to him. He planned to make a big move and see how Shen Yu would deal with it. After returning home, he told Ren Yufei, in 3 days, Shen Yu and I will go out. Yufei, I might have to trouble you to help me pack my things. Just the two of you? Ren Yufei stopped what she was doing and turned to look at Shen Bowen. Do you know? I know, but it's precisely because I know that I have to do this. Shen Yu has always been very cautious because this is Jianchuan and Sheng Xiao is here. But if he leaves Jianchuan, he will have a chance. Sheng Bowen explained and looked at Ren Yufei seriously. Sheng Bowen explained and looked at Ren Yufei very seriously. I also know that you will be worried about me, but I don't want to be like that person in the detention center and die in there without knowing why. That place is hell. I can promise you that I'll let you go alone, but you have to discuss it with 8th brother. You have to be fully prepared. That was the bottom line of Ren Yufei's compromise. As soon as Ren Yufei finished speaking, Sheng Bowen pulled her into his arms and rubbed her hard, just wanting to rub her into his body. Yufei, I'm sorry. Since we're husband and wife, there's nothing wrong with that. I know you feel wronged and have doubts in your heart. Since you want to understand, go ahead. Don't worry about me. She knew what Sheng Bowen had seen in the detention center, and she could understand why he was so afraid. I won't let anything happen to me. Sheng Bowen let go of Ren Yufei and kissed her forehead. Because I still want to be happy with you for a long time. Then hurry up and discuss it with eighth brother. It's so late. Let's go tomorrow. Sheng Bowen carried Ren Yufei to bed. It's time to rest. The two of them had not taken off their clothes, nor had they taken a shower. Seriously, they were lying together and hugging each other. Ren Yufei could not help but say, "Don't always make me so worried." Sheng Bowen did not answer. After a long while he replied with a clear word above Ren Yufei's head. Okay. Shen Yu did not expect that the opportunity would come so quickly. It was just that the other party had walked right into the trap like a fool. When he returned to the villa that night, Shen Yu saw that Sheng Kai was also sitting on the sofa in his house. He smiled. I'm really not done with you guys. I've arranged for 2 starlets. They're on their way. I'll borrow your room for a night of passion, Sheng Kai replied, leaning on the sofa. You want it too? Don't tell me that I have to keep my chastity for a woman like that, Sheng Kai asked. Then he smelled the alcohol on Shen Yu's body and asked, Did you see Sheng Bowen again? In 3 days, your brother will go to prison again. Shen Yu went to the kitchen to get a beer and sat at the dining table. You're just like your brother. You're so stupid that it makes my heart ache. I was still thinking of creating an opportunity, but I didn't expect him to come knocking on my door. Go to prison? Don't tell me it's like trying to send the old man to the hospital again. It's all for naught. Don't worry. This time, no one can save him. After saying this, Shen Yu entered his room, leaving Sheng Kai alone on the sofa, conflicted. That feeling was neither happy nor sad. It was very complicated. When the 2 starlets arrived, he would each choose one and bring them back to his room. Gu Xiling? Marriage? From now on, they were nothing in Sheng Kai's eyes. Of course, Gu Xiling was used to Sheng Kai not spending the night at home. However, she knew that Sheng Kai would not dare to act rashly. But this time, it was different. The next day, Sheng Bowen called Sheng Xiao and told him that he had already made a big move against Shen Yu yesterday. I asked him to meet me at Mount Yueying in 3 days. Sheng Xiao was silent for a while and only said one word. Okay, you don't blame me. Instead of waiting for death, it's better to take the initiative to attack. Isn't that what you said? Sheng Xiao replied calmly on the other end of the phone. Drive your car out later. I'll send someone to pick it up. What are you going to do? Do what I have to do. Cameras from all angles were indispensable. A GPS system was also indispensable. At the same time, there would be a lot of medicine in the car just in case. Also hand over your phone. I'll send it to Zhongting's technical department and deal with it for you. What else? Sheng Bowen asked. He really felt that having such a younger brother was a blessing that he had cultivated for 8 lifetimes. However, he was clearly a younger brother, but Sheng Xiao was experienced and mature. He was more like an older brother who took care of him. Also, I'll send people to the mountain and the surroundings in advance. 3 days later, you have to be careful. He won't go so far as to kill me because everyone knows that I left with him. He won't dare. He doesn't want to kill you. Sheng Xiao dispelled his concerns. Otherwise, you would have died 1,000 times over. The reason why Sheng Xiao said this was because the incident of old Cheng being hit had constantly stimulated his nerves. If the person behind Shen Yu really wanted to kill him, there was no need for it to be so troublesome. Obviously, he still wanted to get something from Sheng Bowen, or rather, put him in an even more terrifying situation. I should have let Su Che follow you, but Su Che has gone to do something more important. There's no need. If I really need to protect him to that extent, Shen Yu will definitely notice. Sheng Bowen also refused to be protected by him. What you said is enough. If anything happens, call the police immediately. This was the last thing Xing Xiao could remind him of. Of course, on the day Xing Bowen left, he would also set off to the foot of the mountain. That way, even if something really happened to Xing Bowen, he could still support him at any time. Eighth brother, I mean, if something really happens to me, you must help me comfort Yufei. Chapter 809. Alright, I'll pray to myself that everything will be fine. Xing Bowen comforted himself and hypnotized himself that everything would go smoothly. However, before hanging up the phone, Xing Bowen could not help but comment on Xing Xiao. Eighth brother, you're actually quite heartless. I've always been like this. With that, Xing Xiao hung up the phone. Yes, that's the truth. Xing Bowen put down his phone and let out a long sigh. Not long after, Xing Bowen went out and got someone to drive the car out. At the same time, he sent his phone over and took out a spare phone to avoid arousing suspicion. It was rare for old Master Sheng to be in good spirits. He was drinking tea in the garden. Seeing that Xing Bowen's recent behavior was strange, he called him over and sized him up. Have you been very close to Lawyer Shen recently? He's not bad. Xing Bowen smiled. Third brother, you didn't like to eat, drink, and be a playboy in the past. Ever since you came out of the detention center, your behavior has become more and more strange. As old Master Sheng drank his tea, he said to him earnestly, I don't have the strength to do anything now. You young people don't like to tell me what's on your mind. I'm always the last to know about what happened recently. However, third brother, even if Grandpa can't do anything, I still hope that you can tell me if you're in trouble. Even if Grandpa can't help you, I've seen more people than you, right? Grandpa, it's really fine. In 2 days, I'll go out with Lawyer Shun to relax. I promise you that when I come back, I'll definitely adjust my state. Xing Bowen did not show any abnormalities. The old man did not force him. He knew that he wanted to go out to relax, and felt that this was a good idea. Aren't you going to bring Yufei along? She hasn't been feeling well for the past 2 days. I'll let her stay at home to rest. Xing Bowen casually gave a reason. Alright, I'll get the butler to take good care of Yufei for you. Don't worry. Xing Bowen looked at the old man, and did not move his eyes away for a long time. After a while he said, Grandpa, you look better. It seems that with eighth brother around, you can spend your remaining years in peace. The old man snorted and rolled his eyes at him. Don't act like a good boy in front of me. Go out and play for a few days. You have to be the same when you come back. I feel really uncomfortable seeing you like this. Got it. Xing Bowen agreed obediently. However, in the next 2 days, Xing Bowen liquidated all his assets and organized them into a document bag. He was afraid that giving it to Ren Yufei would increase her psychological burden. So Xing Bowen sent the documents to the Banyan courtyard and specifically handed them to Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi was puzzled when she received the yellow paper bag. She thought that it was something from the school, but when she opened it in the study, she found that it was all proof of Xing Bowen's assets. There was also a letter. Xiao Qi, if anything happens to me when I go out tomorrow, give all of this information to Yufei in the future. I'm not a competent husband, and I can't bring her much happiness. This is the only thing I can do for her. Mu Qiqi frowned and sat on the chair in the study. She did not come back to her senses for a long time. What was she going to do tomorrow? At that thought, Mu Qiqi was about to call Xing Bowen when Xing Xiao pushed the door open and entered. Thinking that the man might know something, Mu Qiqi showed him the letter. After Xing Xiao read it, his brows furrowed deeply. He did not intend to drag the little one in, so he did not tell Mu Qiqi that Xing Bowen was going out. However, now that Xing Bowen had sent a letter, the little one definitely could not hide it anymore. What does third brother mean by this? Xing Xiao was not in a hurry to explain. Instead, he sat down on the sofa and waved Mu Qiqi over. Mu Qiqi took the letter and sat on his lap. She looked at him solemnly. Old man, you've been hiding more and more things from me recently. Don't call me old man. All right, Master Xiao, can you tell me what this means now? Mu Qiqi waved the thing in her hand and said, Third brother's assets are all here. I didn't expect him to be so rich. What's a few $100 million? Is he going to make arrangements for his funeral? Xing Xiao took the letter and looked at it a few times. Then he put it aside. 3 days ago, he asked Xinyu to climb the mountain. He wanted to draw out Xinyu's next move, because he knew very well that Xinyu had bailed him out. It was impossible for him to not have a next step. So, he took the initiative to attack, and wanted to find out the truth behind it. I know he's taking the initiative to get close to Xinyu, but the two of them went out alone, and you let him go. Muqiqi was in disbelief. He's not as weak as you think, Sheng Xiao said calmly. He sent me all this. It's really not convincing. Muqiqi put down the documents in her hand, and felt a little helpless. He wants to pretend to be a little white rabbit again, right? But this time, the person behind it is the mastermind of Bicini's case. That will really kill him. I've already set up surveillance in his car, on his phone, and around Mount Yueying. As long as Xinyu makes a move, he won't be able to get anything out of it. How confident are you? Muqiqi put her hand around Sheng Xiao's neck and asked. Third brother, when I was in the detention center, I saw someone die in front of him for no reason, Sheng Xiao explained. Why did he agree to Sheng Bowen taking the risk? That was the shadow in Sheng Bowen's heart, the knot in his heart. Muqiqi immediately quietened down. If she were in his shoes, she might have gone crazy too. A sudden frame-up, and the bullying of a kind and honest person. Anyone who had experienced this would question the path they had taken, and the things they believed in. Were they all wrong? What are your plans that day? Sheng Xiao took off his coat, and loosened the buttons on his shirt. He answered Muqiqi. I've already found a place at the foot of the mountain. I'll go over to pick you up when the time comes. I'll go with you. Sheng Xiao knew that once Muqiqi found out about this, she would definitely not stand by and do nothing. So he only said in a low voice, You don't have class tomorrow afternoon. I'll pick you up in the afternoon. Can you go take a shower? Muqiqi was satisfied. She put away the things on the table, and put them back into the yellow paper bag. She locked it in Sheng Xiao's drawer. This is third brother's money. I have to keep it safe for him. Sheng Bowen was not as weak as he thought, and naturally the little one was not either. If he let this little one know after the fact, she would have to let her imagination run wild again. It was better to keep it under her nose and be at ease. The next morning, Ren Yufei woke up early to help Sheng Bowen pack his luggage. However, her eyes were red. It was obvious that she had just cried. Sheng Bowen's heart ached, but there was nothing he could do. I promise you that I'll come back safe and sound. Trust me. It's cold on the mountain. I've prepared 2 coats for you. If you're cold, take them out and put them on. Chapter 8:10. Call me at any time. Sheng Bowen nodded and looked at his sports watch. He realized that it was getting late, so he carried his luggage on his back. It's almost time for me to set off. I still have to take a detour to pick up Xinyu. Ren Yufei nodded gently, but her hands were already tightly clenched. I'll send you out. Sheng Bowen knew that she was worried, so he did not say anything. However, when he saw that she was so flustered that she even put on the wrong shoes, he pressed her against the door and kissed her passionately. He couldn't bear to, but there were some things that he had to do. He couldn't wait for others to plot against him before he regretted it. At this moment, Ren Yufei allowed herself to indulge in it as her teeth were pried open by that soft tongue. The two of them kissed passionately for a long time before Sheng Bowen let her go. Don't send me off. I'm leaving. With that, he disappeared from the door. Ren Yufei did not follow him out. She just touched her lips because Sheng Bowen's warmth still lingered on them. Be careful when you're outside. This was old Master Sheng's last instruction. A moment later, Sheng Bowen drove the black SUV and disappeared from the Sheng family's iron gate. It was 8 o'clock in the morning. Sheng Bowen arrived at the villa on time according to the address provided by Xinyu. Xinyu, who was dressed in light sports gear, stood at the entrance of the villa and waited. Have you been waiting for a long time? I just left. Xinyu put his backpack in the trunk and sat in the front passenger seat. If you haven't slept enough, you can sleep a little longer. It's a 4-hour journey from here. By the time we reach the foot of the mountain, it'll be noon. We'll have lunch at the hotel at the foot of the mountain. We'll climb the mountain in the afternoon. Okay, I'll listen to your arrangements. In other words, the car would be parked in the hotel. Shen Yu's gaze gently glanced at the trunk. It was at this moment that the two of them began to draw the route on Sheng Zhao's computer. Sheng Zhao also put away his computer and picked up his coat. He followed Shen Yu to pick up Mu Qiqi and set off for Mount Yueying. However, after picking up Mu Qiqi, she looked at Sheng Zhao's new driver and was a little puzzled. Didn't Su Che go home to visit his family? Don't be so smart. Sheng Zhao could not help but remind her. We'll talk about this later. Mu Qiqi did not ask further. She just looked at the computer on Sheng Zhao. How many cameras did you install on third brother's car? There's not even a blind spot. Don't talk. Lean against me and sleep for a while. It will take a long time. I'm just asking, how many people did you bring? 4 of them have gone first. There are still 6 more to go. Sheng Zhao stared at the screen, but he answered Mu Qiqi seriously. Mu Qiqi felt at ease and leaned into Sheng Zhao's arms. After a few hours she had to sleep. In fact, when Sheng Zhao and Qiao Lian set off, Sheng Bowen and Qiao Lian had already had lunch at the hotel at the foot of the mountain and parked their car. The two of them carried a backpack each. It looked like they were going to climb a mountain. From the looks of it, it doesn't seem like your first time climbing a mountain. Sheng Bowen saw that Shen Yu had taken out the professional equipment and was excited. Then I've really found the right person. In the past when I was abroad, I had nowhere to vent when I was upset, so I often went out to climb mountains alone, Shen Yu explained. I thought there was no case you couldn't win. It's precisely because I have to win that I need to put in more effort. There was a hidden meaning in Shen Yu's words. I'm an orphan, unlike young masters like you who have lived a luxurious life since I was young. If I didn't work harder, I wouldn't have lived to this day. This is the first time I've heard you talk about your family. Sheng Bowen smiled as he walked. Tell me more. I'm curious. We're brothers, but I still don't know anything about you. I grew up in an orphanage. Later, I was adopted by an old man. He supported me until I graduated from college. After I became financially independent, I never saw him again. Shen Yu briefly explained his background. What about a girlfriend? Haven't you dated? Sheng Bowen winked at him nosily. I did, but not for long. Then I'll definitely keep a suitable one for you. Who asked you to be my brother? Sheng Bowen stopped walking and patted Shen Yu on the shoulder. The scenery of Mount Yueying is very good. It's a pity that Yufei can't come with us. I actually have to share such a beautiful place with a man. It feels strange. After saying that, Sheng Bowen pushed Shen Yu from behind. Hurry up. It'll take 5 or 6 hours to get up. When Shen Yu saw that he had touched his backpack, he subconsciously changed his shoulder. When I get serious, I'm very fast. You won't be able to catch up at all. Sheng Bowen couldn't help but laugh. Then let's compete. In fact, Sheng Bowen saw Shen Yu's action of protecting his backpack. However, he had to pretend that he didn't know anything. His backpack was full of clothes and food, as well as some medicine and water. However, what was hidden in Shen Yu's backpack was definitely a weapon against him. However, it didn't matter because sooner or later, Shen Yu would open the bag in front of him. The two of them chased each other and climbed to the top of the mountain. Even though they were 2 athletes, it took them 4.5 hours. In addition, the weather on the mountain was unpredictable. Sheng Bowen suggested that they find a hotel to stay in first. 2 young people, don't go any further. It's snowing heavily. Hurry up and find a place to stay. The natives on the mountain reminded the two of them. Shen Yu and Sheng Bowen looked at each other and nodded. Then let's find a random guest house. In order not to arouse Shen Yu's suspicion, Sheng Bowen did not book a hotel in advance. A random place would not easily arouse suspicion. The two of them found a nearby guest house to stay in. Because of the snow, a bonfire was lit in the guest house. Sheng Bowen handed his coat to Shen Yu and smiled. You said that you often climb mountains, but you didn't know to bring more clothes. The mountains abroad aren't this high, and they aren't this cold. Looks like we'll have to stay here tonight. Do you want a drink? Sheng Bowen sat on the chair and smiled. In this kind of weather, around the bonfire and drinking a little wine, you'll sleep very comfortably at night. Yes. Shen Yu nodded. No one knew what he was thinking. No, it should be said that at this moment, he actually didn't know what Sheng Bowen was thinking. Was he really not on guard at all? The two of them sat together with their own thoughts. Not long after, the snow drifted in. It's so beautiful. Then let's take a few more looks. Because once they entered, they wouldn't be able to see anything. Sheng Bowen seemed to hear the underlying meaning in Shin Yu's words and smiled. Yes, it's a rare opportunity in the future. I originally wanted to see the sunrise, but it seems like it's not going to happen. You won't be able to see tomorrow's sunrise, Shin Yu thought to himself. I'm on the mountain now anyway. You can't find me. Come back soon. Got it, eighth brother. I'm drinking. I can't talk to you anymore. It's snowing on the mountain, and my claws are hurting from the cold. Sheng Bowen hung up the phone. Shin Yu sat beside him and listened. His heart gradually relaxed because Sheng Xiao did not notice anything. He did not even know that Sheng Bowen had gone out to climb the mountain. It's snowing anyway, let's continue drinking. Sheng Xiao hung up the phone and looked at the computer. At the moment, there was no movement at all. It was like the calm before the storm. At this moment, Mu Qiqi suddenly sat up from the bed and looked at Sheng Xiao. Xiao Xiao, did something happen to third brother? She was thinking about Shen Bowen, so she could not sleep well. However, he could not force her to drink too much. He was afraid that her stomach would feel uncomfortable. No. Sheng Xiao got up and sat on the bed. He hugged Mu Qiqi in his arms and comforted her. Sleep. Mu Qiqi widened her eyes and looked at Sheng Xiao. You lied to me. You just wanted to get me drunk. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He suddenly turned over and pressed her under his body. Instead of coaxing her and forcing her to drink, he might as well use the most primitive method to make her fall asleep. Perhaps it was the effect of the alcohol. But Mu Qiqi only felt that her head was empty and her entire body was floating. It was a familiar touch and a familiar kiss. Mu Qiqi closed her eyes and enjoyed it. Soon, there were soft moans coming from her mouth, and the intense lovemaking came to an end in the heavy rain. This time, Mu Qiqi really fell asleep. Sheng Xiao got off the bed and wiped her down before letting her rest. Then, he put on his nightgown and stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window. The computer beside him was always on, and the red dot on the screen was constantly flashing. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the heavy snow suddenly stopped. Sheng Bowen woke up from the sofa in the guest house and saw that the bonfire in front of him was still burning. Shin Yu was adding fuel to the fire. I fell asleep. Go in and sleep. You drank a lot, Shin Yu urged him. No need. I brought medicine. I'll go take one. After saying that, Sheng Bowen staggered to his feet. Fortunately, Shin Yu supported him. Where's the medicine? I'll help you get it. It's in my backpack. Sheng Bowen felt very dizzy and quickly sat back on the sofa. Shin Yu entered the door and got Sheng Bowen the medicine. However, a few minutes later, someone called Sheng Bowen. Sheng Bowen picked up the call and heard the hotel service at the foot of the mountain say anxiously, Mr. Sheng, XX8467 is your license plate number, right? Yes, what's the matter? The manager went out to check just now and found that your car is missing. It seems to have been stolen. Sheng Bowen sobered up a little and immediately got up. Call the police immediately. I'll think of a way to get down the mountain. Therefore, when Shin Yu came out, he saw Sheng Bowen asking the boss about going down the mountain. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Even if the old man dares to drive this car, you guys wouldn't dare to sit in it. The boss of the guest house was a little troubled. That car is really important to me, Sheng Bowen said anxiously. What's wrong? Shin Yu quickly went up to him and handed the medicine to Sheng Bowen. The hotel called and said that my car was stolen. That car is very important to me, so I talked to the boss about going down the mountain. Sheng Bowen tried his best to stay awake. If I had known, I wouldn't have drunk so much. Boss, I'll pay double the price. Send us down the mountain, Shin Yu said. Especially when he saw Sheng Bowen's anxious expression, he said, that car is very important to my friend. After thinking about it, the boss finally nodded. Then I'll drive slowly. Okay. Looking at the time, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Sheng Xiao finally saw another small dot on the computer screen. moving quickly down the mountain. Sheng Bowen had gone down the mountain. Of course, he knew where Sheng Bowen's car was, and who had stolen it. After all, there were very hidden surveillance cameras in the car. However, why did Shun Yu lure Sheng Bowen down the mountain like this? The rain outside had just stopped, and the road was dark and slippery. Chapter 8:12. After 2 whole hours, Sheng Bowen and Shun Yu were sent down the mountain by the owner of the homestay. However, Sheng Bowen was still stumbling, and could only rely on Shun Yu's support. The two of them quickly arrived at the hotel at the foot of the mountain. The hotel manager was also very anxious. After all, it was not an ordinary car. It was a Mercedes-Benz limited edition off-road vehicle. We've already called the police, but in the mountains, the police force is limited, so the hotel staff went out to look for it first, the manager explained to Sheng Bowen. I'm sorry, Mr. Sheng. Is there no surveillance? Seeing that Sheng Bowen could not speak, Shun Yu helped to ask. I did. The surveillance shows that 3 men wearing masks drove the car away. But as you know, this area is remote, and there are no surveillance cameras. Once they are out of the hotel's range, there's nothing we can do, the manager explained. Our people have already gone out to look for it. That car was a birthday gift from my mother. It's been a few years. I didn't expect someone to still remember it. Sheng Bowen held his forehead and explained. It's a pity to lose it just like that. It's useless to think so much now. Shun Yu comforted him. It's best if we can find it. After all, this kind of car is not common. We should be able to find it. That's for the best. Sheng Bowen had already drunk alcohol, and had a bad headache. Now his head was heavy and his feet were light. Shun Yu let him support him, and the two of them waited in the hotel lobby. They did not expect that half an hour later, there would be news. The manager quickly walked over and said to the two of them, Mr. Sheng, our people followed and found out that someone saw the car driving in the direction of the abandoned winery. Send me there. Don't go. You drank so much. Shun Yu stopped him. It's raining again. It's dark and the road is slippery. There's really no need. I'll only be at ease if I see it with my own eyes. Sheng Bowen hung on Shun Yu's body. Aren't you here? Shun Yu took a deep breath and finally said to the hotel manager, You guys drive and send us there to take a look. Okay, I'll send a car now. The manager left quickly in his high heels. A moment later, the hotel driver sent the two of them to the location of the abandoned winery. Under the illumination of the car lights, Sheng Bowen immediately saw his birthday present parked at the entrance. However, when he got out of the car, he almost rolled off. He was quite drunk. Be careful. Shun Yu supported him, and the two of them ran towards the off-road vehicle. The top of the car had been turned upside down. From the looks of it, these people were only after the money, not the car. Sheng Bowen jumped into the driver's seat and tried to turn on the engine. Seeing this, Shun Yu said to the hotel staff, Go back. The car has been found. Tell your manager not to be so busy. The hotel staff heaved a sigh of relief and drove away from the abandoned winery. At this time, only Sheng Bowen and Shun Yu were left in the winery. Sheng Bowen was very excited to find what he had lost. He checked it carefully before he was relieved. You scared me to death. After saying that, he said to Shun Yu, Get in the car. I'll take you back. Are you really okay now? Shun Yu asked him. Sheng Bowen laid on the steering wheel and said weakly, I want to sleep. Then I'll drive. You can sleep in the back row. Shun Yu said to him calmly, and helped him from the car to the back row to lie down. A moment later, Sheng Bowen's even breathing came from the back row. Shun Yu immediately took out his backpack and quickly put on gloves, shoe covers, and a blue coat. However, what Shun Yu did not know was that all his movements were under Sheng Zhao's surveillance. It was also because of his equipment that Sheng Zhao understood what he wanted to do. It was not just Sheng Zhao, but Sheng Bowen as well. He had taken the hangover medicine and had been exposed to the cold wind for 2 hours. Along the way, he had pinched the area between his thumb and index finger, reminding himself to be sober, just for this moment. So this was what was in Shun Yu's backpack. Sheng Bowen had a splitting headache, but he was abnormally sober. The road back to the hotel was not that far. But in order to find a suitable place to commit the crime, Shinyu deliberately drove very far. In a place where there were no street lamps, no surveillance cameras, and few cars, Shinyu found his target. A white car stood out in the darkness. Before Shungboan could react, he could already feel Shinyu changing lanes and speeding up. At this moment, Shungboan seemed to suddenly understand what Shinyu wanted to do, so he immediately propped himself up to stop him. "Shinyu, stop the car." It was just that he understood a little too late. The two cars collided, and Shungboan felt the world spin even more. At that moment, Shungboan felt as if he was dead. When his ears returned to normal, Shinyu continued driving. He did not know how many meters forward, but in the end, the car was hit by a big tree. Another violent impact made Shungboan feel extremely uncomfortable. He instantly opened the car door, lay on the ground, and started vomiting. After vomiting, he lay on the ground and fell unconscious. He had just been installed on the car door. At this moment, Shinyu got out of the driver's seat, helped Shungboan up, and placed him in the driver's seat. Then, he took off his gloves and foot covers, jumped back to the back of the SUV, and pretended to faint. Soon, the family that had been hit caught up with them. When they saw that the car had crashed into a tree, they quickly called the police. It was another hit and run that had been arranged clearly. And it was still drunk driving. When Shungboan woke up, he was already at the police station handcuffed. The strong light stung his eyes, and he immediately realized that he was in a trap. "You're finally awake." The interrogating police officer knocked on the table. "Drunk driving and escaping. Prison is waiting for you." This time, Shungboan was very calm. He only asked the police officer, "How are the family that was hit?" "One has a serious fracture, and the other two have minor injuries. Fortunately, no one died. Otherwise, you'd be in prison for the rest of your life." "Officer, I was drunk at the time and didn't drive at all. The driver was my friend," Shungboan explained. "If you don't believe me, go ask him. Contact him immediately. You'd better save this trick of yours for the court." "Then can I see him?" Shungboan begged. "Please, I want to figure it out. Just you wait." The police officer sneered and got up to leave the interrogation room. Then Shinyu walked in. "Why did you do that?" "I'm so good to you. I don't know what you're talking about." Shinyu completely treated himself as an outsider. "I tried to persuade you, but you insisted on driving. You knew that you still had a criminal record, but you insisted on self-destruction. Even if I'm a lawyer, I can't save you. You drove the car." Shungboan shouted on the verge of collapse. "I was drunk and unconscious. How could I drive?" Chapter 8:13. "At first, I was thinking that I should help you. After all, you treat me like a brother. But you actually want to slander me for what you did. Shungboan, are you still human?" After Shungboan heard this, his eyes turned red like a lion that had lost control. "Why did you want to harm me?" "Why? No one wants to harm you. You're the one who wants to harm yourself. Your crime won't be light. What awaits you will only be the punishment of the law. Wait for your sentence." With that, Shinyu stood up and left the interrogation room. Everything was over. If you wanted to blame someone, blame yourself for being too stupid, Shungboan. However, after Shinyu left, Shungboan gradually regained his calm, because he knew very well that everything was over. So this was Shinyu's second step. He wanted to send him to prison completely. It was a pity he couldn't succeed. The news spread very quickly. The news of Shungboan escaping again quickly spread throughout Jianchuan. However, Huangyao had already merged with Zhongting, so Shungboan wasn't worried. The only thing he was worried about was that the old man would be agitated again after hearing it. The old man received the news early in the morning, but he didn't show any expression. Ren Yufei was still thinking about how to appease the old man, but he didn't show the slightest bit of worry. "Stop looking. Eighth brother called me a long time ago." The old man snorted. "These two bastards are getting more and more lawless." "Grandpa, I'm sorry." "What's there to be sorry about? It's not true anyway. After eighth brother clarifies it, it'll be fine. I sympathize with the person behind him." The old man knew the severity of the matter. Since the two brothers had worked together to put on such a show, they would definitely make the other party pay a heavy price. This kid, I told you, he's been looking for that Shen kid to eat frequently recently. So it's all because of this matter. Seeing that the old man wasn't worried, Ren Yufei let go of the worry in her heart. Just wait and watch the show. The reaction of the entire Jianchuan was very intense. Sheng Bowen was portrayed as a heinous criminal. More importantly, this time, the evidence was conclusive, and he could no longer get away with it. In the morning, Sheng Bowen was handed over to the Jianchuan police station. Because it was a malicious criminal case, the police immediately arrested him. However, he had learned to keep a straight face when facing an acquaintance. Shen Yu had completed his mission well. Jinbo was very happy to see the news. Of course, Sheng Kai also saw the so-called result. This time, Sheng Bowen would not be able to make a comeback. After entering the police station, the police asked Sheng Bowen to explain the entire details of the drunk driving incident. Sheng Bowen did not say anything. He only said to the police, "You promised to let me meet Shen Yu. I'll tell you everything, no matter how big or small. You don't have the right to negotiate with the police. But Uncle Police, you don't have any direct evidence that I drove the car. There are no surveillance cameras, right? So I want to see Shen Yu. As long as I see him, I'll confess everything." The police couldn't do anything to him, so they called Shen Yu. Shen Yu originally disdained to see this idiot again, but since he wanted to die, he would let him have his way. On this day, Jianchuan was in an uproar. When Mu Qiqi woke up, she was already at home in the banyan courtyard. Seeing that Sheng Xiao was not around, she immediately got up and went downstairs. She saw Mama Sheng watching the news of Sheng Bowen's drunken driving and escaping. "Mommy, you're awake? Eighth brother has already asked for leave from school for you. You can rest at home today." Mama Sheng turned around and said, "Fifth aunt has made soup for you. Drink some later. You'll feel better." "Mommy, third brother. Eighth brother told me to tell you when you wake up. Everything is under control. Don't worry. That damn man had seduced her last night and deliberately knocked her out." She had already reacted. What had happened during this period of time? She really wanted to know. The matter had gotten so big, and she did not know how that damn man was going to settle it. "Mommy, I'm not eating lunch. I'm going to Zhongteng." Mu Qiqi could not control her worry and curiosity. Now the victims were all over the world, and everyone was calling Sheng Bowen a piece of trash. Mu Qiqi could not help but be puzzled. Did things have to get so big? "I knew I wouldn't be able to control you. The car has already been prepared for you. Eat something, and I'll let you go." "Okay." Mu Qiqi sat down at the dining table and ate her lunch in peace. She did not know that at that moment, Sheng Xiao had already set off for the police station. In the afternoon, Shen Yu appeared in the interrogation room. However, this time, Sheng Bowen requested to talk to Shen Yu alone without being monitored by others. The two of them faced each other. Only then did Sheng Bowen look like he had accepted the truth. "Tell me why." "I plead guilty." After Shen Yu heard this, he lifted the corner of his shirt and smiled. "Do you think you still have a choice? Why? I treated you so well and confided in you. Yet you schemed against me like this." Looking at Sheng Bowen's innocent expression, Shen Yu looked at him coldly and completely tore off his disguise. "I warned you not to trust anyone so easily, but you didn't listen. Did you bail me out just to send me in again? You're finally smart for once." Shen Yu nodded and looked at Sheng Bowen with a gratified expression. "You finally understood. I don't understand. What did I do to offend you?" "You didn't offend me. I was just doing something for someone else. Your second brother found a good backer and named you by name. He wanted to send you to prison as a gift for him. I couldn't do anything about it." Shen Yu glanced sideways at Sheng Bowen. "What good person are you living in this world? Look at your current appearance. If you don't look out for yourself, the heavens will destroy you. Be more careful in the future." After Sheng Bowen heard this, he knew that it was impossible for him to find out more from Shen Yu's mouth. After all, he was alive and not sentenced to death. Of course, Shen Yu would not tell him the truth. "Shen Yu, you can't get away with Baisini's case, right? including the person behind you. I just don't know who you are to him. He's definitely not very important. If he was your right-hand man, would you need to personally frame me? Since things had already come to this, Sheng Bowen also planned to tear off his rabbit mask. You don't need to know. Then let me guess. If you were in prison, he definitely wouldn't have come to save you. After Shin Yu heard this, he suddenly laughed. His shoulders kept trembling. What is this? Is your IQ suddenly online? It's nothing. It's just that the car I'm driving isn't a birthday present, nor is it a gift from my mother, Sheng Bowen suddenly said. Shin Yu suddenly became serious. Then he looked at Sheng Bowen's smile, and it widened bit by bit. Chapter 8:14. Of course I didn't plan all of this. Otherwise, would I have been schemed against by you? Sheng Bowen shrugged casually. He was like a completely different person from before. As a result, Shin Yu's vigilance and curiosity were heavily aroused. What kind of trick are you playing with me? I'm just a person waiting to be sentenced. Why would I play any tricks with you? Sheng Bowen was still smiling unscrupulously. Shin Yu thought about the whole process in detail. He became more and more uncertain and suspicious. In the end, he got up from his seat. You're in a hurry to leave? You can't leave. You'll stay with me. The more Sheng Bowen spoke, the more excited he became. Shin Yu turned around and hurriedly opened the door of the interrogation room. However, he had only taken a few steps when he saw Sheng Xiao enter the police station. Lawyer Shen, you're leaving just like that? Aren't you going to see what I brought? Sheng Xiao was calm and reserved, but there was a smile on his lips. Shin Yu looked at Sheng Xiao, especially his eyes. This unpredictable man was like a god who controlled everything. It's useless. You can't get Sheng Bowen out. Is that so? Does the police have evidence of Sheng Bowen's drunk driving? Sheng Xiao asked calmly. I'm the evidence. If your one-sided story counts as evidence, then this thing in my hand might directly take your life. After saying that, Sheng Xiao handed the surveillance video to the police. If the person behind you is only at this level, then I think it won't take long for me to find his lair. Shin Yu's face was pale because he had no idea what Sheng Xiao had handed to the police. Therefore, he could only bluff. In order to get your brother out, you're really willing to do anything. White latex gloves, blue overalls, and black shoe covers. I can see you clearly in the dark. Looks like I'll have to give the people in the technical department a bonus. Hearing those three adjectives, Shin Yu felt as if he had been struck by lightning. That's impossible. Impossible. Remember, even a rabbit will bite when it's anxious. Shin Yu broke out in a cold sweat and ran out of the police station. However, Sheng Xiao did not stop him. Was a rabbit easy to bully? It was easy to bully, but there was a price to pay for bullying rabbits. The police quickly confirmed the evidence and confirmed that Sheng Bowen was innocent. He had been framed. Sheng Xiao's video was too clear. Shin Yu really could not deny it. Therefore, half an hour later, Sheng Bowen was released by the police station, and Shin Yu became a wanted criminal. Sheng Xiao's car was just outside the door. When Sheng Bowen saw it, he got into the car awkwardly. Eighth brother, I knew you would save me. Are you done playing? Sheng Xiao was angry. If Shin Yu had been more insane and hit the car harder, Sheng Bowen might have been crippled from then on. Or rather, he might have died in the driver's seat. If you're done playing, go back and explain it to Grandpa yourself. In any case, he returned after a calamity. How fierce. So, you know the mastermind behind Shin Yu? Sheng Xiao glanced at him and asked. I'm just in jail. Do you think he'll tell me about those things and tell you? However, when he got carried away, he said something that I believed. He said that Sheng Kai had found a good backer, and I was a gift to Sheng Kai. You believe it? Shin Yu took such a big risk for Sheng Kai? Alright, I think it's nonsense too. At the very least, he had caught the person who had framed him. He, the rabbit, had bitten back, hadn't he? Eighth brother, the rest of the matter is complicated. Only a cunning person like you can play with it. Sheng Xiao did not answer him. At least he was back, and the show had officially begun. Shin Yu is related to Bai Sini's case, but he doesn't know much more than Sheng Kai. After a while, Sheng Bowen suddenly said, otherwise, Shin Yu wouldn't have been sent to deal with me. Moreover, he was alone. But he does know something. This was what Sheng Bowen was puzzled about. Shen Yu seemed to know a lot, but he also seemed to be bluffing. He knows, not because the other party trusts him, but because his instinct to survive makes him want to master something important to save his life. Sheng Xiao interrupted Sheng Bowen. No matter what, the other party is so passive now. Let's just wait and watch the show. My head hurts. I can go back and sleep. Shen Bowen blinked and leaned against the back seat. His mind was abnormally clear. Why didn't Xiao Qi come with you? Sheng Xiao ignored him, as if reminding him to ask what he wanted to ask. Don't send Qi or random things in the future. You're taking revenge on me again. Sheng Bowen suddenly reacted. Was this considered revenge? Why did you let Xin Yu go at the police station just now? You could have caught him on the spot. If you caught him on the spot, how would you know who he asked for help, where he was hiding, and who he had seen? Sheng Bowen was speechless. As expected, there was no way to play with these scheming big shots. He simply closed his eyes and went to sleep. The trip up the mountain had exhausted all his wisdom. Things had turned around again. Everyone thought that Sheng Bowen had been caught on the spot in the car, and had been identified by the victim. In addition to the previous case, he would definitely not be able to escape prison this time. However, in just a short afternoon, Sheng Bowen was released without charge. Not only that, but the police also issued a wanted order. It turned out that the murderer was lawyer Shun, who was in the same profession. In the end, there were people who did not believe this. They always thought that the Sheng family had used their background to do something behind the scenes, and let others take the blame. However, the evidence in Sheng Zhao's hands, dozens of cameras of all sizes, had captured videos of Shun Yu committing the crime from all angles. In order to put an end to rumors, Sheng Xiao took a short 10-second video and let the media release it. It was the scene of Sheng Bowen being caught by Xin Yu and placed in the front passenger seat. At the same time, Huang Yao issued a statement saying that Sheng Bowen was innocent. The police had sufficient evidence and hoped that people from all walks of life would stop attacking and spreading rumors. In this way, Sheng Bowen's innocence would be completely cleared. Sheng Zhao's counterattack was very powerful because apart from clarifying Sheng Bowen's innocence, he also wanted to force Xin Yu, so that he and the people behind him would no longer have any hopes of getting lucky. At the same time, he was also warning Sheng Kai. There was no way out of fighting with him. Don't waste your energy. In this way, Sheng Bowen was completely pulled out of this vortex by Sheng Xiao. Want to touch the Sheng family? It depended on whether the person in power behind him agreed or not. At the same time, Sheng Zhao's car had already driven into the Sheng residence. Old Master Sheng and Ren Yufei were waiting anxiously at the door. When they saw Sheng Bowen get out of the car in a sorry state, Ren Yufei immediately ran over. Chapter 8:15. It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back. Old Master Sheng sat in his wheelchair, tears welling up in his eyes. Comfort your wife well. She's really scared. After all, the old man was someone who had been through a lot, and Sheng Xiao had given him a shot in the arm. So even if he was worried, he would not be as worried as Ren Yufei. Sheng Bowen hugged Ren Yufei tightly, and tried his best to absorb the fragrance from her hair. I swear, I'll never leave again. Yufei, I'm fine. Ren Yufei hugged Sheng Bowen, and could not help but cry. Sheng Xiao did not stay for another second. After all, the person at home was about to explode. Therefore, he turned around and left, not stopping the couple from confiding in each other. However, during the time Mu Qiqi went to Zhongting, things had already turned around. By the time Mu Qiqi left Zhongting, Sheng Bowen had already returned to the Sheng family. The matter had already been resolved. Mu Qiqi pursed her lips. She felt wronged and angry. She went straight to Shengting to attend classes. After all, there was nothing else she needed to do. Things had reversed too quickly, and things had happened too suddenly. Even Jin Bo had not expected all of this. When Sheng Kai saw the news, he could not help but laugh mockingly. He had already said that Sheng Xiao was not easy to deal with. Did Shen Yu really think that he was that capable? After the incident, Jin Bo immediately called Sheng Kai. Xiao Kai, do you know where Shen Yu is now? Can you contact him? Godfather, after the incident, Xingyu didn't contact me, Sheng Kai replied. I don't know his whereabouts either. He hasn't returned to the villa. After Jinbo heard this, he nodded and comforted Sheng Kai. Xiao Kai, it's nothing. Don't take it to heart. People who do great things have to make sacrifices. I know what I'm doing, Godfather. That's good. Just pretend that you don't know this person. All of this has nothing to do with you. According to Jinbo, Shen knew that chess piece could not be kept. Of course, if you have any news about Xinyu, remember to tell me at any time. Was Xinyu useful? Of course it was useful. As a lawyer, he had the highest winning rate in the country, so he naturally had his merits. Whether it was in the open or in the dark, he had made great contributions to Jinbo. But now, Xinyu had been exposed and was wanted by the police. As Jinbo, the first thing he thought of was to shut him up forever. Of course, Xinyu knew it himself. Therefore, 2 hours after the warrant was issued, Xinyu turned himself in. That's right, surrender. If he was arrested by the police, he would at most go to jail. However, if he was caught by Jinbo, he knew that he would not be able to keep his life. It happened so suddenly that Jinbo was furious. Did he think that everything would be fine if he went to the police station to turn himself in? Xinyu knew that even if he entered the police station, he would not be safe. Ironically, he had to learn Xing Bowen's tricks now. I want to see Xing Xiao. As long as I see him, I'll confess everything. He asked to see Xing Xiao, not Xing Bowen, because he knew that the reason why Xing Bowen could live in peace was because of Sheng Xiao. The police then called Zhongting to ask for Sheng Xiao's opinion. Sheng Xiao agreed to meet Xinyu. It turned out that Xinyu was still smart. He knew that his life was hanging by a thread and knew to ask for help. Therefore, Sheng Xiao could not be bothered to go home to coax that punching bag. He directly asked the driver to go to the police station. And when Sheng Xiao went, he knew in his heart that even if Xinyu did not say anything, the person behind Xinyu had already regarded him as a thorn in his side. He thought that Xinyu had said everything. The lights in the interrogation room were very dim. The police interrogating the suspects often only gave them a desk lamp. Sheng Xiao entered the interrogation room as promised. When Xinyu saw him, he could not help but laugh. When did you find out that there was something wrong with me? Not long after you returned to China. I saw the cases you were in charge of. One of them was a family with the surname Li. As expected. Xinyu nodded in submission. President Sheng, it's a pity that you don't become a police officer with a brain like yours. You asked me to come here to save your life. You have to say something that interests me. Only then will I put in the effort to protect you. Sheng Xiao sat opposite Xinyu. It seemed that no matter what kind of environment he was in, his expression would always be calm. Straightforward. But how can I be sure that if I tell you all this, you will keep me safe? Xinyu turned to look at Sheng Xiao and smiled. President Sheng, how can you guarantee it? You have no choice now. You can only trust me because you know very well that under such circumstances, I, your enemy, am the most worthy of your trust. Sheng Xiao leaned back in his chair. He had always been calm, because he knew that Xinyu was begging him. The person behind me has a fake name. I don't even know what his real name is. I also don't know how many people he has adopted to work for him. I'm just one of them, Xinyu told Sheng Xiao calmly. In essence, I'm no different from Sheng Kai. It's just that he's being raised as a scapegoat, while I'm a chess piece that has to be obedient. Wherever he needs me, I have to serve him. Sheng Xiao nodded. Xinyu told Sheng Xiao in a calm voice. I might not know more than Sheng Kai. I just have a little more brain than Sheng Kai, because I know very well that this day will come sooner or later. I won't tell you what I know directly, because this is the condition of my negotiation with the other party. As long as I die, the secret will fall into your hands. Sheng Xiao, I'm sorry, but you've also been tricked by me. After Sheng Xiao heard this, the corners of his lips curled up slightly. It doesn't matter, as long as you can really survive. Whether I can survive or not depends on you. As a reward, I'll give you some superficial information. This is the information I overheard after narrowly escaping death. The Sheng family and the Shen family are each other's stumbling blocks. You're already in the game, and neither of you can escape unscathed. Sheng Xiao was not Sheng Kai. And of course he was not Sheng Bowen. The information that Xin Yu had revealed was enough for him to think of many things. Since it concerned the Shin family, the answer should be Mu Qiqi's second uncle. That's all I can say. President Sheng saved my life, so I didn't come in vain. After saying that, Xin Yu laughed and immediately called the police at the door in. Officer, I want to confess. Sheng Xiao remained silent and left the police station. In fact, this had already exceeded his expectations. At least, Xin Yu had given him a clear direction. The driver was waiting at the door. When he saw Sheng Xiao come out, he asked, President, where are we going next? Back to Zhongting, Sheng Xiao replied lightly. In fact, he did not believe that Shen Yu could really survive. Chapter 8:16. From yesterday to this evening, Mu Qiqi only felt dizzy. She was so angry that she simply went back to the Shen family. She did not want to see the man who lied to her about everything. Shen Jianchuan made an antique collection room. When he saw his daughter coming home, he felt that the sun had risen from the west. How long has it been since you came back to see your father? I'm back now, aren't I? Mu Qiqi sat on the chair and watched him clean the antiques. Dad, you're almost recovered now. Don't you want to find another one? Shen Jianchuan pushed his thin glasses and looked down at the antique in his hand. I'm already this old. What else is there to find? I can miss your mother. That's enough. Mu Qiqi leaned on the table, feeling unhappy. Go and see your grandfather. I'll clean up and come out for dinner. Okay. Mu Qiqi got up and went to old Master Shen's fish pond. It was spring now. There were all kinds of expensive flowers in the yard. They were all taken care of by old Master Shin himself. Grandpa, why are you free today? Old Master Shin put away his fishing rod and turned to look at his granddaughter. Where's Sheng Xiao? Don't mention him. He's angry. Mu Qiqi squatted beside him and answered. No wonder you came back so eagerly. Your family is so close. You must be very happy. Mu Qiqi helped old Master Shin up, and the two of them went to the Shin family's dining room. Huang Yu was excited when she saw Mu Qiqi. You're such a busy person. Why did you come back to have dinner with your grandfather today? She came back because she was wronged. Old Master Shin snorted. The two families are so close. Did you see her climb over the threshold? Grandpa. Mu Qiqi looked at old Master Shen and scolded her. Tell me, what did Sheng Xiao do to you? The way I see it, you're usually so lawless. It's all because he spoils you. Mu Qiqi did not say anything. She just sat down at the dining table and served the dishes to old Master Shen. I should come back more often to eat the dishes in the small kitchen at home. I should learn how to fish from Grandpa and how to identify antiques from Dad. I should cultivate the noble character of a young lady. Dad, since Qiqi doesn't want to say it, let's eat. Our daughter has been bullied outside and has come back. Let her feel the warmth of a family. It was rare for Huang Yu to be so considerate. I'll clean up Qiqi's room later. You can sleep here tonight. Thank you, second aunt. Old Master Shin glanced at her and snorted coldly. He did not say anything. Sheng Xiao would definitely ask him for her later. I'm going to stay at my aunt's place for a few more days tomorrow. 8 o'clock at night. When Sheng Xiao entered the house, Mama Sheng looked at him with a complicated expression. Sheng Xiao, you didn't pick up Xiaoqi? She's not back yet. Maybe she's in her room. You can go and see for yourself. Mama Sheng was not sure because she did not hear anything when she got home. Ask her to come out for dinner. Sheng Xiao went upstairs and found that the entire second floor was empty. There was not a single person. He thought that she had gone to Feng Shanshan's house, but Tang Yin said that he did not see her. Sheng Xiao took a deep breath. Had he really spoiled this thing? Sheng Xiao made all the phone calls. And in the end, he thought that the thing might have returned to its mother's home. Mom, I'll go to the Shen family to have a look. What are you guys doing? Mama Sheng poked her head out and asked Sheng Xiao. Qiqi is not a petty person. How did you piss her off? We'll talk when she's back. Sheng Xiao said these words and quickly went to the Shen family's house. At this moment, Mu Qiqi was watching the military channel with old Master Shen when the butler suddenly came in and told the two of them. Son-in-law is back. He's looking for Miss Chi. Mu Chi did not say anything. When old Master Shin saw this, he stood up and said, "All right, I'll go meet her." Mu Chi's heart was originally soft-hearted, but when she thought of what that man had done all day, she got up angrily and went straight to her room in the Shin family. Sheng Xiao entered the door and did not see anyone. He really had a headache. Old Master Shin walked out eagerly. When he saw Sheng Xiao, he snorted. She's so angry that she went back to her mother's home. Eighth brother. That's not what you promised me back then. Grandpa, other than picking up Qi, I also have something to ask you. Sheng Xiao did not forget what Shin Yu had said to him in the interrogation room. Neither the Sheng family nor the Shin family could escape. Since it involved the Shin family, Sheng Xiao naturally had to know whether the old man was confident or not. Is it important? Sheng Xiao nodded. Let's go to the study. The couple had never blushed before, so the old man only allowed Mu Chi to throw a tantrum. He knew that the couple would not make a big fuss, so he went to the study with Sheng Xiao. The two of them sat in the study and talked for more than half an hour. Only then did old Master Shen understand the whole story. Eighth brother, I'm afraid this matter is aimed at the Shen family. Zhongting is now a military enterprise, and you're supporting the Shen family. The old man knew what was going on. When second brother comes back, I'll have a good talk with him and see if he's confident. It seems that third brother has been implicated by the Shen family. Fortunately, he's fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to sleep and eat in peace. I'll follow up on this matter at any time. Because it involves a murder case, I'm also cooperating with the police, Sheng Xiao told the old man. It's also because I'm worried about Chi'er's safety that I didn't let her know about many things. Who knows better than you what kind of temperament this girl has? You're the one who brought her up. Her personality and temper are 80 to 90% similar to yours. You can coax her yourself. I'm too lazy to care. Sheng Xiao was silent and followed old Master Shin out of the study. Huang Yu was sitting in the living room. When she saw Sheng Xiao, she smiled. Even eighth brother has a day of being defeated. Second aunt, where's Chi-er? She's in her room. Huang Yu pointed. This is also your house. I won't lead the way. Sheng Xiao nodded. He thought that this was the Shin family. If this was the Banyan courtyard, he would have pressed her butt and spanked her. Of course, since she was still in the Shen family, he couldn't keep thinking about bullying their daughter. Seeing Sheng Xiao walk to the corridor, Huang Yu thought for a moment and chased after him. She gave him something. Here, the door key. Thank you, second aunt. Sheng Xiao accepted her kindness and quickly walked to the little one's room. The lights were on in the room. She must be inside. Chi-er, open the door. I'm here to take you home. Mu Chi sat on the bed with her back facing the door. She ignored him. Sheng Xiao waited for a while. Seeing that there was no movement in the room, he opened the door with the key. Mu Chi didn't expect to be betrayed by Huang Yu. She maintained her original position with her back facing the man. If he dared to do anything, she would shout. After all, this was her maiden home. Turn around. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.